in on this one.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tuesday Night Golden Guys. Welcome to Shady Acres. I'm your host, JD Comics, and I'm here with my good friends, GS Comics and Knights of Old. I'm going to say hello to everybody first. How we doing, Knights?
I'm doing great. It's my daughter's birthday today, so we had a weird COVID birthday party, I guess, where but all our friends and her baked cookies all on Zoom. That was actually worked out really well. It was pretty fun. Cool.
Good stuff. How were the cookies? How they turn? How they
amazing.
Turn out? Good.
They're amazing.
Nice.
It's a chocolate chip with pieces of like candy cane in it.
Oh, very cool. I like the peppermint stuff. How we doing, Diaz?
Pretty good. Not much going on. My back and my legs are killing me from shoveling, and I had a busy day. But yeah, I'm trying to marshal some resources to go after some big books in the next like February, March. So I'm kind of holding off right now, just trying to get some stuff together. And yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I got a lot going on, but I'm trying to get stuff out.
Nice. Yep, I've been busy selling some books, trading a lot more.
Do you have snow there too?
Yeah, what these guys got, I got about 18 inches last Monday and Tuesday. Ooh. We got it. But I don't have to shovel. When you set 6 floors up, the city will take care of that for me. I'm 6 and 7 floor, fifth and 6th floor. So anyway,
we got rain here.
Yeah, we got rain a lot. Right. Great show last week. We had Lewis on. Lewis is going to join us next week to bring, hopefully, if he gets his books in. He made some great wins at Heritage Auctions this week. Plus, he's got some books that really impressive books he wants to show. Making sure my dog went straight upstairs and didn't do anything crazy. Getting old. 13-year-old one dog, the other one's 11. So
I got a 15-year-old lab.
Yeah, these are 2 Boston Terriers. He's losing his vision in one eye. He's pretty much 90% shut off, and the other one's about 20%. But he's been born deaf, so I got like a Helen Keller thing going on. But he's always good.
What's that?
You got any pets?
No, I had a pet, but he passed away last year, and the wife wants to get another pet, but I'm not ready yet because I had him. It was a cat. His name was Matrix. I named him after the movie, and I had him before we met. So she sort of married me and him. And then they got real close, and he was like my best friend. And he passed away, and I'm just not ready to get another one yet. So yeah, but I love dogs and cats. I love pets. I love animals.
Yeah, both my dogs have predate the wife and kids. So I always say they were here first.
Every now and then I'll find because we used to have 2 labs, a black and a chocolate. We still have the chocolate one, but the black one passed away. But every now and then I'll still find a black hair, a Mylar or something, and but it feels good.
Yeah, so I still like she got rid of everything. I couldn't deal with it, so she got rid of everything in here that was his except his scratching pad. which he used to lay on and everything. That was like his spot. I still have that on the floor, and I won't let her get rid of it yet. So I feel like he's there in spirit at night, hanging out with me on the scratching pad. So
the new soft side.
So obviously, I'm not ready for another animal.
This is good. Who wants to show first? I gotta go. I got a lot, so.
Why don't you go, JD?
I'll go. All right. So first and foremost, like Lewis said last week, I can go into a place with a skateboard, bag of Skittles, and a used condom and walk out with Golden Age books. This time, I walked in with just 25 books. God of Thunder's 26 books. God of Thunder's 1 through 25, including a variant, all raw with exception of 25 was a test subject to prove the point that saying, hey, I'm going to shoot this in. Every book is here. Sold it back to the guy who I originally paid $54 for the run for a couple of years before, and I traded away. Nice stuff. Good stuff. I traded away for, let's go first. We'll do the comic in the middle. We got these two original ads for the $6 Million Man and Maskatron, but that wouldn't be anything unless you got the complete collection of the Steve Austin that you can look at through, and with all the accessories, of course. Maskatron. If you don't know Maskatron, boom, right there.
Ooh.
The one I'm looking for is Bigfoot and Knights. If you pull that down, I'm going to get real upset.
No.
That's the only one I need to complete the collection. I've got three stands ready to go.
I watched that on TV, but I didn't have any of its toys.
I had this. I used to walk around my house like this all the time.
What do you see? What does it show through there?
Nothing. It's just like literally like what you see farther away. But it's just kind of cool. What else I trade for? Oh, I traded the God of Thunder run, including those two pieces, and picked up this little original Iron Man 1 statue from, I always get this name wrong. Knights, help me out. Kotobukiya.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. This one.
Pronunciation? Kotobukiya. The original Iron Man 1 Kotobukiya. Battery's not included, but that's fine.
This must be the same lens.
Oh, yeah, probably the same one. Yep. Traded away also for, I got two minor Star Wars books, 88 and 1991. I got them in my Star Wars collection. I'm not going to pull them out. And to complete it all, something I was hurting forever for, I'll just put it on with it because this thing hurts. It's a full-on
there you go.
metal Thor helmet.
Wow.
Look at this. Nice.
That's awesome.
All the way around. Comes with stand. Heavy as hell. Something you definitely don't want to go to a con with. But here it is. And I took this off with the wig. It's actually my Ric Flair wig. But it works. Serves its purpose. And here it is on the stand. And a limited edition of 1,000. However, only.
Is it all metal?
Yes. 100% metal with the exception of the inside, which is just a little bit of rubber there and a tag. And now it was made in India, but there are 1,000 of them were made, but that's not accurate because only 300 made it before they got stopped.
Wait, in Asgard? Are you going to say they're made in Asgard?
No, I made in India.
Damn.
But
Yeah, Asgard, India.
There aren't 1,000 of them. There are maybe 300 of them that actually made it out of India. The rest of them they kept there due to some kind of shortage. I got the story from a guy. And to complete it all off, what we were talking about last week was this beautiful copy of Zigra, the first one, Zigra number 2. You've got Baker, Doolin, Kamen, Triple Crown of let me just put this on the big screen.
Nice.
All that. So you got the two $6 Million Man. Well, you have $6 million. You got Lee Majors or Steve Austin, a man barely alive, with the Maskatron, the Iron Man Kotobukiya, and the Thor helmet prop for God of Thunder's 1 through 25 that I sold back to the guy, who's a great guy. Sold it back to him with the original sticker prices of $4.50 on each one. So it happens. Wow. Yep. And there you go. So that was my big trade. I did that last Wednesday, I think, after our show. When I said I'm going to the comic shop tomorrow, I did. And now I just sold a bunch of books now to go pick. Oh, I forgot this. Damn it. So I forgot this. This was part of the Thor. I got this in the mail yesterday. I asked for JR to do me a favor.
Oh, nice.
Because he did my favorite Thor Volume 2. He did the artwork in there, and he did a sketch cover, and I said, I love the way you did the Thor. So here you have a pencil drawing on standard Marvel paper, or standard, Bristol paper, the comic paper. And JR did a great job. It looks better than it does on the camera because it's really dark right now because this is covering up the light. But he did a really good job. And he saw the picture of me wearing the helmet, and he said, it's on its way.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice piece.
Yeah, it's good. It's actually, there's only about 2 Thors I need left. If you find me a Kirby one, that'd be nice. But that's about it. Of Thor artists I wanted that I don't have. I've got Jerkovich, Rivik, Simonson, JR. I'm looking for Kirby, obviously. And
you got a Simonson Thor piece?
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh, nice.
Right here.
I saw a sketch that he did was going. I don't know if it just ended or not, but it was a pretty nice sketch, but it was already like past 350.
Yeah, I had him. This is probably nicer than that. I had him do this for me in 2011. It didn't cost anything.
Yeah, that's cool too.
The slab. I remember I said I wanted to get it. This is when I was slabbing every sketch cover because not for the sake of slabbing, because I was afraid they would warp over time or ruin. So they CGC. This is when I was early into the CGC. Like I might have had 4 CGC books total, and then I had about 15 of them, and 9 of them were sketch covers. Because I still, like you, probably track over. That's by Simonson. And then I've got a Sod Rivik. You guys have seen this big 16 by 20. And now my JR. Now I need a Kirby. And Ryan Stegman, I have one, but it's with everybody else. I'm not a really big fan of Stegman, but he did a good job. So there you go. Nice stuff. Who wants to go?
Oh, I got one book.
Yeah.
Let's say it.
Yeah, I tried to buy a couple things recently on Heritage and Comic Link, but prices are crazy, and I'm not getting into bidding wars. So the only thing I got off Comic Link, I feel like I got a good deal on this. It's nothing crazy, but it's a Russ Heath. This is the last pre-code issue, Battle 37. Nice 5.0 white pages.
You stole that too.
Yeah, dude. This is one of those ones where you put a bid in and you just
got a good deal on that one.
And then you go back and you're like, oh, I won it. That's crazy. $92.
It's like your tracking bid.
Yeah, exactly. It's like $92 for this, a 5.0 white pages, Russ Heath.
Nice.
And I wasn't super hard up for it because I have I don't know, this is like a 3.5 4.0.
So what's the big difference in the prints there?
What do you mean?
There's got to be some kind of like offset something.
Well, I mean, they both look almost identical. The thing about this, it's tough to find good colors because it's tough to see, but it has really, it's not black. It's like a dark blue cover. And that blue.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's hard to find a good one with a dark navy blue.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
The only thing, it's got this weird like piece of fading down here. That's kind of strange.
Oh, in that red piece.
Sorry, I'm trying to fix this thing.
Yeah, but it's not like something on the whole cover because the gun and everything else is good. I don't know, just that little piece is like got a little fading on that red. But
so your other copy doesn't have that?
No, the other one.
Oh yeah, whoa, that is weird.
If you look at Atlas books, I have a few from that era of 1955, 54, 55. Some of them have what's called the red to yellow on it. What I found out, and I don't know how right this is from a dealer. He said that they used to put less red in their comics because it was more expensive. So they would run out and they'd keep running the book until it was almost completely yellow. And then they do it again. So
yeah, so
I can't unsee that.
It might be a printing thing, but it's the paper quality. You can tell. I mean, it's white pages, but It's really, really nice paper. I mean, it's really clean and looks well protected. The colors are good, other than this little weird piece here. Really, really nice. And this one I thought was really nice when I bought it. It's a beautiful looking copy. It's like a 3.5, might even be a 4.0. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Colors are really good on this. So now I've got two. I guess I'll probably sell this one, but yeah, Russ Heath. I guess this is just an underappreciated cover. I think it's pretty badass.
I do think it is, because if you've ever been to the Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C., they're similar. They're wearing that kind of gear with the ponchos and everything else as well. It's actually one of the best memorials in the whole D.C. area.
Yeah, and I like how it's raining and they're standing on this mountainside and they're in the water. And I guess Baker Company is about to bail them out. This guy's coming around the corner here, and these guys are creeping up.
Great Russ Heath signature too on there.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh yeah, where is it? Oh yeah, underneath.
Yep.
Where is it? Right here.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got a cool signature. So I don't know, but for $92, I figure 5.0 white pages. It's a pretty cool book.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm stoked about that. Nothing huge. I've missed out on a bunch of other big stuff, but yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that.
Excellent. How we doing, Knights? What do you got?
I got a couple things finally. So I picked these up. See, this show, I got myself in trouble because I was like, wow, these things are looking cool. So, I found some pretty cheap. I went after the second one I'll show, but I'll show the cheapo one. I think it might be missing something on the inside or something, but it was like $2. So I was like, and it was one of the covers I kind of liked. So, and this is borderline Silver Age. It's, after the Code, but, before Fantastic Four #1. But it's
Ooh, is that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Is that a Gil Kane cover?
No, I think it's
Grandinetti.
Grandinetti?
Yeah, Grandinetti, yeah.
Okay.
I assume. He did so many
Yeah.
things, but
Well, that's one of the best eras of DC. Not so much superhero, but like Strange Adventures and Men of War. Great artwork inside and the interior artwork. I always read the inside.
I love that train down there, the swastika on top of the train. Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I figured, I'd try some out because, I think the only other war comic I have is this one. And I feel like this is kind of its own unique kind of animal.
Right.
But, I figured I'd try it out. And I don't know. I think it's okay. I think I might, if I get more, I'll maybe go for like darker covers because I feel like the closer they are to black, they look cooler because of this other one I got, which is what I showed on the show. I definitely like a lot better. I think same guy, but is this one?
Oh,
yeah, really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a great.
I think this was only like it was lower. It was cheaper than I think it was in the 20s. It's not bad.
I think that's one of those flag. That's a gray tone cover by him.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
But I definitely like the way that I don't know something about the colors in this other one aren't as. I mean, I'm not going to argue with like $2.50,
Right.
but and there's some other ones I saw on eBay that I'm keeping my eyes open for. But I was surprised how. Because I was just looking at a bunch of different covers I liked, and they're pretty tough to find, some of them at all. And then some of them, to get anything like without creases all to hell is almost impossible. Or at least, when I looked. I don't know how often they come up. I assume more than some of the Golden Age stuff. But, this one's pretty good. Not too many, big cover crease. So
yeah, the DC stuff from that era is always beat up. There's a couple of those All-American war ones that you just showed that I like,
Nice.
but I can't find anything above like a VG, and I just want like a nice copy of it, and they're just so hard to find in nice shape.
Yeah.
So one more thing, if you want.
Okay. Cool.
Back on.
I've
I
been.
got a foxhole back there too.
Yeah.
I got this from overseas, as always. This one I've been looking for a while is the Hulk.
Ooh, the Hulk. Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
I actually have some French and Yugoslavian Hulk and Thors and Silver Surfers. I love those. I'm actually going to go back and get that Thor one of that when I get back.
Yeah, these are pretty rare, these phone book ones, because they just recycled them. And unfortunately, the Hulk story is not in color, but I think
I like it. I would like that it's not in color. You see the line art.
Well, it's kind of cool when they do go in color because they kind of go all out because they only get like 2 pages.
Oh, really?
Like more. So it's like they get that maybe like once every 2 months or something. So they put a lot of, it's like their chance, right? But let me see. I should be able to find this page real quick. Come on, Hulk. Where are you? This thing is massive. I kind of wish there'd be like a Marvel Comics version of comics like this.
Yeah, I think it's over 100 pages.
Oh, yeah.
I like how there's black and white, then there's blue and white and purple and red. It's got different colors in there.
Well, I'll look for it during the show, I guess. It's in there somewhere. I got one book. A couple others I could show. Let's see. Yeah. This is this one's a super rare. I'm looking for this. This is a real nice condition. This one, I lucked out on that. There was 2 I was bidding for, and this one ended first, and I got it. And I put in a really high bid for the second one after this, but I got beat. So I'm wondering, like, it was like an hour after this. So I'm wondering if like whoever I was up against was like, what the hell, and then put a huge bid in for the second one. But this is a really old one. This is a 1971, same comic actually as the Hulk, but this is a by Go Nagai, one of the real famous kind of Jack Kirby-esque kind of creators in Japan who created tons and tons of robots and characters over there. But very early on, very cool. Devil Day is what it's called. Precursor Devil Man. And this is pretty cool. Sometimes those books would come with a freebie, like a thin book.
Yep.
And often these are kind of the precursors to a character getting their own like full reprints in something like this. Grab this. So after they're in those phone books, if they're popular, they'll get reprinted in like a small book.
Yep.
But that's like trade paperback. And
yeah, I see those small books a little more often now.
Yeah, but sometimes, and some of those are going to be worth a lot. And that's why people throw away these and those big ones, is because they know they'll just grab this. It's smaller, easier to deal with. But sometimes the free comics, this would be bundled with like that big one I showed. And it's usually like this is all Mazinger, this is great Mazinger. So, which is another. That guy made.
I had that doll. It came with. I think I had that thing. It was about the size of my Godzilla with wheels.
Yeah,
it had wheels. I had that. Yeah.
These are cool because they really remind me of our normal comic. Or what I'm used to. Nice. But yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, this is a European version of Fantastic Four 112.
Cool. Nice. That's
this
cool.
Is Pence. This is a British version of it. But then I've got the Thor from Yugoslavia.
Wow.
And a Silver Surfer from Yugoslavia. Fellow hockey player who I used to play with years ago.
I like it when they
a friend of Yarmir Yager sent these over. So
I like it when they have the same cover, but it's different colors and stuff. It's cool variant, you know.
Very cool.
Really variant covers.
Yeah, I do collect those Yugoslavian or Russian comics that were done a little bit after that. Let me shout out the chat while we get ready for our brief topic before we get into the spinner rack.
DS was talking about a variant of ASM 300, I think, right?
Yeah, the Italian variant.
It sounded cool, but I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's a black cover. Let me see if there's one on here.
Sorry to interrupt you, JV.
No worries.
Let's see.
This is a cool book I got. This is even older than that Mazinger I showed you. This one's really beat up, but it's super old.
Oh wow, that's the 301 or
I love that. That's cool, yeah.
Oh, that's even
it's one of the more popular foreign editions because of the black cover.
Nice.
And actually, like 8.0s, 8.5s, it's pretty rare apparently. And it goes for several $100s in like VF, and then if you get into the 9s, I don't even know what it would probably go over $1,000. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I like that better actually than both 300 and 301.
Me too.
Yeah, I know it is better. I think that's part of that's what I was saying. Like if it's uniquely different in sort of a cool way, that's fine. But I think some of them where it's an exact reprint just in another country, like a Mexican version of something that's identical looking, doesn't have as much cachet, sort of.
Nice.
But some of like the German Spawns are cool because they'll collect like 3 issues of a Spawn in one book, and they'll put a unique sort of cover. A lot of the European ones are like that.
Nice.
The Mexican stuff, not as much.
Right.
I bet there's a cool Silver Surfer 4 maybe out there somewhere.
I have one coming from France. It's stuck in France right now, but it's not the cover. It's on the interior.
Oh.
So, Jembo, good seeing you.
Jembo.
Here's Something Wong. Hey, guys, I just found your channel recently. Glad you can join us. Thank you for being a friend. You'll enjoy it.
Thanks for coming.
Yep, we see you've got a beautiful Matt Baker woman right down there. We love
That's a great cover.
Right there. We got...
Wasn't that Cinderella or something?
Yep, Cinderella Love. And we've got here Nightwing, 1969. What's up? Mr. Gretzky, 9966. Love
I used to have that Smurf figure.
The great Chris Barrett talking about some ECW right now. Ring of Honor.
I used to go to ECW matches in New England. They were awesome.
I went to college with one of the more known ECW stars, Tommy Dreamer. That was his name.
Oh, dude.
It's not his real name, but that's his
He's
name.
like Mr. ECW.
Yeah, he was a bouncer in college. We went to the same school together.
That guy can take some punishment. I'll tell you that much. Holy
he does.
crap. Was he tough back then?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Honest to God, like a gentle giant.
I mean, did you think you could run him over with a car and he'd be fine? Because he probably would be.
I mean, he was a normal guy. He wasn't like, I guess to be a bouncer at a dive bar in a college town,
Yeah, he actually seems really nice in interviews and stuff.
Yeah, he was just really good, smart guy for sure. Airboy the Barbarian, great having you here. I am enthralled with Bernard Bailey floating head covers. What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. You are just loving it like we are. Comic Mad Musing says, hey, JD, hey, DSA Knights, good having you here.
Hey.
Low Gang, great having Comic Mad Musings here. One of the best right there. We got DS. He's joined us right now. He's here on the air. And who else we got in here? Somebody new. Ricky Markstadt finally made it here. So now we got Chris and Ricky. We're very good. Ricky, by the way, congratulations on getting your latest pickup. First appearance of Miss Barbara Gordon herself. I saw that out.
Ooh.
Very proud of you for that.
I want to get one of those someday.
Yeah, I think
I kept putting it off because I couldn't find one that had the black of her body like without any blemishes on, and then by the time I looked it up again, it was already too expensive.
Hey, Tuca Ramirez, I am from Yugoslavia. Oh, great. Then you probably know that. You know who Yager is. These are some of my favorite. Well, he's my favorite hockey player. Who I met him when I was 14. He might have been 16, and he was about 1.5 feet taller than me. He was way bigger than I was. That was in the juniors way back when in Oslo, Norway. And who we got here? The great Tommy married up. Have you seen his wife? I actually. Last time I ran into him, I think it was at a reunion, and don't really know much about him. Anyway, so a topic tonight I just came up with a little while ago, considering we've known what's going on in the market, is fluctuation and variables of fluctuation in price in Golden Age. How we kind of know in the Silver Age, we've got a steady things going up. Some of the bronzes have dipped a little, the high key ones, but an AF-15 is a stable, steady, your Johnson & Johnson stock. Now we've got all these Reddit stocks and everything else. Now, what do you think? Nobody's noticed short squeezing. Fluctuation in value. Have we seen some Golden Ages not just fluctuate greatly like the Fantastic Three recently, where we're waiting to see the next one, or the $2.2 million Batman 1, but have we seen any fluctuations where you see stuff go up and then come back down in the Golden Age? And I'm going to start with the one area I have seen a little bit of a dip, DS, in the pre-code horror world. Tell me.
Yeah, one that comes right to mind is Nightmare 13, Matt Baker, underwater green sort of mermaids. That book was on fire like a year and a half ago. I actually remember buying a copy and getting it graded, and it came back a 7.5. And I ended up selling that for like, I don't know, at the peak, I think it was like 3,200 or something insane. The prices on that have come crashing back down. It's encouraging to see that, because when you're going after books and the prices just keep seeming to rise and rise and rise out of reach, it's encouraging to see sometimes books come back down to earth. It lets you know that you still have a chance to pick these up even if you don't do it now. Web of Evil 5 is another one. It's still pretty high, but it was really getting up there crazy. That's a Jack Cole orange electrocution cover. That's pretty pricey, but it was through the roof. Another one is what is the eyeball one? It's issue 12.
The
Bernard Bailey.
Yeah, I got it over here.
Poker to the Eye. Mr. Mystery 12, I think.
Yeah, that's what it is. Mr. Mystery 12 with a poker going right to the eye.
Yeah, Mr. Mystery 12. That one, man, that thing went crazy. There were like VGs going for like 8 or 9, 10 grand. And that one came crashing back down. And, I say crashing back down. A VG of that's probably still a couple grand.
Mm-hmm.
But it was up in the $8,000-9,000 range. Like anything else, there's, the genre in and of itself will move steadily up. But as the whole group moves up, you'll have these books that'll pop up and come back down to the group, and pop up and come back down to the group. So you just got to look at the group as a whole, and if there's an anomalously high price on a particular book, wait it out, and it usually come back down to get back with the group, and the whole group might move up over time.
Nice.
But yeah, it's those books that pop way up out of the group range. They usually come back down. PCH is a super popular category still. It's a very hot category. And you'll see books going for insane prices. Just wait, it'll come back down. Unless it's like a Black Cat 50 or a Chamber 19. Those are like the upper echelon, top tier stuff.
Right.
But yeah, PCH is up and down a lot.
Yep. The books that I was thinking of about this was the two, actually, Spirit and Venus.
Yeah.
Spirit and Venus, about in 2012, 2013, you could pick them up reasonable for considering their era. They weren't really outstanding. Yes, you had the one cover with the red dress that would go for a little bit of a premium, but it wasn't, in a way, unless it was extremely high grade, out of range. And then I would say in about 2017, they hit their peak. Maybe 2016, they hit their peak in price. I have seen those come down at least 20 to 30% almost across the board, whether it be Spirit and Venus. And I put those two in the same category, not saying anything crazy, but the those two titles and those books of that good girl art gold books that I've seen come back down to earth. They're my two that I would pick right now because nobody's really jumping on jungles except for the Bakers and the early ones, and there are a few jungle books that are going for high premiums right now. Sheena obviously always generates anything jumbo will out Jumbo or Sheena from Fiction House, and then the Zoot and the JoJo. I just picked up a JoJo 14 tonight on Facebook. Thank you, Pete Swan. At Good Old Comics, he's running a little auction thing going on at a Claim It sale, and I asked him to put out some gold and a Darth Vader book, and he did both for me. And I said, all right, I'll give you a fair price on both. And now he's building me a box. That's what I do. I sit there, I buy a box for $30. That's really big, and we'll just keep stuff in there. And for the next 6 weeks, whenever he has a claim sale, I'll just add to it if I like something, or wait to the end. And hopefully, he's got more stuff. He's one of my. That's what I do with that. But back to the topic at hand. Those are my two choices. Now, Knights, what do we have in either the superhero world or your world? Have you seen any major fluctuations?
No.
GameStop or AMC or Nokia or BlackBerry or any of that stuff that's been going on in the news lately from the.
I do feel like some of the. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I felt like when I was looking through the latest Heritage and the Comic Link, I felt that there was a lot of stuff where I felt like, good. Finally, things aren't like always like going up $500 each time. Like I felt like things were a little bit staying normal, or they were a little bit more normal than I was used to in the past year. But I'm sorry, but I can't remember.
No worries. It was a topic I came up with pretty much on the fly after watching today's market.
I mean, have you noticed that at all with anything?
Wonder Woman peaked, and now I have seen books that were going for, and I'm not saying the big keys, but like some of the early ones, the sensations in the teens and 20s and 30s that were going for premiums are now coming back down to where they were about 3 or 4 years ago. And that's in the last couple of months. Especially, I saw that on the last Heritage auction and the last Comic Link auction, and more or less on eBay. I've been keeping an eye out for a few Wonder Womans and stuff like that I would love to eventually snag. That I saw a book that I was like, wow, that thing went for $5,000, and then the same book went for $3,800, and then the same book in a higher grade sold for $4,200. So either the 5,000 was out of whack, or the other two are. But the Cheetah presence and maybe the reaction to the movie, most recent one, might have helped that in a way. I think that's one of the tougher parts about the superheroes is when you're dealing in the Golden Age and you introduce a character in the Golden Age, there is a spike in the book, but not like you see in the moderns where you get a book that's $1 that goes to $100 to $200 graded 9.8. We don't have that in the Golden Age as much as we have a book that goes from say 1,000 to 1,500. First Cheetah or whatnot, but first Giganta. Or
sometimes I do feel the audience, as much as we think, it's getting huge when we can't seem to win anything because the prices go crazy. Sometimes I do feel like our audience is pretty small. And it's like when everyone gets their book, then prices drop a little. Oh, it's the birthday girl.
Happy birthday.
7 years old now.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh. Do you like Golden Age comic books? The real old ones.
Whoa.
Who's your favorite oldest superhero? Probably right there.
Oh yeah, Wonder Woman.
Nice.
And who's daddy's?
Superman.
I like Superman. Another guy too who wears red, white, and blue, I think.
Huh? Oh, Captain America.
There you go.
Some good ones there.
Nice.
Thanks for saying hi up late on your birthday. Now that you're 7 years old, I guess you get a half-hour extension.
Yeah, my one that's 4 years younger than that keeps coming down the stairs because the TV is over. But speaking of, one of them's coming down right now. Hey,
Yeah,
come on, DS.
Huh?
Here's G-Pat.
You're next, DS.
Yeah, I feel like there's books. Some of the really massive books seem to have a lot of fluctuation. Like Cap ones, Batman ones, Superman ones, stuff like that. They're not really rare, but they're massive. They seem to have a lot of up and down, and we have fun on this show trying to guess and predict where these prices are going to end on these books in these auctions. And there seems to be a lot of up and down on those. I think on the higher end, not rare stuff, you can pick your spots on those and score really good deals on massive books. And then the super rare stuff where there's no data, it's impossible to predict likewise because it's just on any particular day, whoever's going after it, it could go for a ton. Like you could have a book go for 5,000 and the next time it shows up, it goes for 8,000. That's a huge swing. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of fluctuation in Golden Age stuff. It's very hard to predict. And overall, we have a feeling that the market's really hot. But I feel like there's still deals out there. You just have to watch a lot of books, be familiar with the market. And as the books go off on auction sites and whatever every week, you'll see some that are fluctuated down and you can pounce on them. And you can still get good deals, but it's just really tough. You got to put a lot of time in and watch a lot of them. But I feel like the fluctuation is just a common thing in Golden Age market. And yeah, all the prices are high always, but very tough to predict. I tried to bid on that book I showed you guys on Heritage on Sunday. I thought it was a 2.5, Blue Flying, not a top book, but it was a Fox book, Mystery Men Comics 2. It's not a killer. It's a robot cover, so that's why I liked it. And but not one of the top books. 2.5, decent looking. I was thinking $1,500. It was going into the live bidding at like $700 or $800, and then the live bidding is going to go off. I'm thinking like 15. Maybe I'll go a little higher than that. It goes off at 2,800.
Yeah.
I don't know. I swear to God, I saw one of those sell for like 1,100 a few months ago in the grade. So I mean, how do you predict that? It's just up and down. But that was up. The next time I'll watch one, maybe it'll be down, and I'll score it. So.
I did take some pictures actually of some of that stuff I was talking about. So if you want to put the screen on,
sure. By the way, my daughter heard your daughter and came right down.
Oh,
here's Miss Victoria. Victoria, who's your favorite superhero?
Hello, Victoria.
Who's your favorite superhero? Who's that? Whose shield is that? All right, whose helmet is it?
The camera.
Yeah, the camera. Who's this? You know who this is, right? Who's that? Shy all of a sudden? This one doesn't stop talking ever.
Yeah.
Time for you to go to bed. Go see mommy. She'll take you out. All right.
So I think, I don't know. It might be, I'm having trouble. Like, there's so many auctions, it seems like now. Yeah. And I'm just like, or there's more books than ever. I don't know. It just seems like a lot more to keep track of. So I think some things are just getting lost, or people just don't have that much money, or I don't know. But like, I feel like there was definitely, because I think earlier this last year, I was looking at some of these auctions and I was just like, you can't get a deal for anything. And lately I've been feeling like, whoa, I should hang out more because there's definitely some deals. Might not be the marquee book or whatever, but like, so here's one, it's a Cole cover.
Oh yeah, Police Comics.
Only $123. I mean, that's, maybe it's not worth more than that, but I mean, that's not bad for a Cole book.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool book.
And it's a 3.0 too, Well, here's a Timely that was expensive. Well,
when there's
not like crazy expensive.
What's that number 3?
No, this is number 14, but it's a popular Cap one where he's got a gun.
Right.
But and then this I think maybe it was high 600.
Yeah, that's exactly the type of book I'm talking about, and I know for a fact because that's a book I'm looking for.
But then
and that
Look,
goes up and down.
but this is a steal, 110 or 140 bucks. Right? I mean, you look at the other collectibles, like what can you get for 140 bucks? Like nothing. Then we got, I felt like this was a good deal for this old Batman. You know, it's a 1.5 and
I love that.
got issues, but you know, it was only $3.98. I mean, that's not bad to get like a big. I consider that a pretty big book. Early Jokers, you know, like here's another one. I don't know what number that is because it's too small, but that was only 191. It's like, you know, where were all these like crazy Batman Joker people? Like they just kind of, you know, were sleeping. This one, you know, did I think go up higher? I blame our show.
Yeah, that's the one I've been telling everybody. Every time I tell people that's a great book to buy.
Mm-hmm. And the one that I was talking about on eBay disappeared.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, sure.
Wasn't me.
And here's some nice Kohl's. You know, Blue Bolt.
The 105 or
small. Yeah, whatever this one is, 5 point. It's a 5.5. That one for 700. Maybe that's not a deal or anything. There's another 5.5. That one that went for 1,400.
And you know, last year I sold my 5.0 of that for 800.
Wow, yeah. But then this one, which is a pretty cool, is a 4.773. I don't know. I guess that's not really a deal or anything. And then I feel like there was a couple others. Oh, this one we talked about. I was surprised. This cap 2.5 went for 1,200, 2,550.
Oh wow!
And then there was a couple. Like this is a cool book right here.
Oh, I love Captain Science. Yeah, that's Kistler, right?
Only 160 bucks. I mean,
I mean, the Captain Science 3 has been a thorn in my side that I didn't. You guys remember when I didn't buy the one for 150, and then it was going for $500 or $600. I haven't seen one back in the range I'm looking for the grade.
Yeah,
4.0 or higher.
But I mean, it's not like you necessarily would have gotten it for that much, you know, because there's always some. And then here's another. I was surprised that a lot of deals that seemed like on war stuff. I can't tell which one's a huge key or anything, but like, you know, this guy, that was only $35.
Jesus.
You know? I mean, that's as much as it costs probably to get it slabbed.
Yeah.
And then there's another one. Well, this one we talked about. This detective right here, this 5.0.
Oh, I love that book. Yeah.
Oh yeah, what there?
4,600. Probably.
Yeah, I thought it would go for about 5 because it's an early tech.
And then I thought this was a good deal. We talked about how cool that one was, and that only went for $135. So I feel like you could totally go check out these auctions and throw some bids in. You know,
like I said, I picked up a Fox book tonight, maybe a 1.0, maybe a 2.0 at best, but I paid under $100.
I forgot to bid on this, but it wouldn't have mattered because it went for way more than I thought. It went for almost 3,000. So, 2,945. But here, I'll show it again. It's a great cover. I feel like, you know, this is in the magazine one. And it has some of the text cut off, which isn't my favorite on that. But, you know, it takes a long time to come up. So, and we talked about this one. Sorry. I guess I didn't have that. Here's we talked about that 6.0.
You know, I would say probably 45 to 5 for that.
No, I mean 3,400, which
I feel like that's a decent price. That's one of the better ones.
Yeah, decent price. I feel like it's not crazy. And this one, which, geez, you know, I paid a lot more for. I think mine's a 6.0, but I paid significantly more. And this was a great price for. Congrats to the buyer of that. That was an awesome classic cover. $683. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that's to get a classic cover, and then the zip guy. What was this? There was something wrong with it. What was it?
Well, it's got slightly brittle pages.
3.5. Then that goes for almost 2,000. You know, so I feel like there's definitely some. You know, be smart.
Nice.
If you don't go for, you know, once you run up that other guy so he blows his money on that, then go pick up some smarter, lesser books. When you let them blow their money on some of these big ticket items. Which,
the one thing you can't do on the rare stuff like that zip is look what's the last sale, because that really has nothing to do with it. Those rare books, it just depends on what the auction is, what's the auction coming up after it that has books, what people are targeting, and then, you know, it's just how bad somebody wants it. Because sometimes you'll have, you know, a bunch of guys looking for a particular book, and when it pops up, you have a bunch of guys going after it. And sometimes there's not a ton of people going after it when it pops up. It just depends. You know, that's the sort of stuff I target, and I've missed that. I was on a hot streak last year. I was picking up all kinds of cool stuff. And then at the end of the year, it sort of cooled off, and I was missing everything. It's hit and miss, but if you stick with it, there are deals to be found on this stuff. And, you know, some genres will go up and the other ones will come down. Right now, I feel like timelies are pretty hot. You know, they're always super popular, but some of the better timelies are going for record prices, you know, 10, 12 grand for like BG copies of stuff that was, you know, not long ago. I remember going for like 5 or 6 grand, like doubled in price. And then PCH, it's just, that was really hot. Some of it has cooled off. Some of the LB Cole stuff has cooled off. But some of the bigger stuff of his that was cool before is red hot, like Power Comics 3. 7.5 of that has gone from 4,000 to 12,000 in 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just because it's rare, and you see a couple, and then people decide they're going to target it, and then the 7.5 comes up and it goes for 12 grand. So, I mean, how do you predict that? You know what I mean?
Sometimes, you know, I say to myself when I miss out on something, I'm like, you know, that book was made in what, 1940? So
yeah,
it's been around a long time, and I'm however old I am, and I didn't worry about it till now. It's gonna come up again. Like, don't worry about it too much, you know, like it'll eventually, you know. And if whatever, worst case, 10 years from now, this is the first time it comes up, maybe you won't care anymore, and that's not the end of the world.
Well, you can always flip other stuff and sell other stuff out of your collection, and then go after some of this bigger stuff as it goes up, or, you know, there's ways to do it, or you can just, there's no shortage of cool books, I feel like. So if you just are patient and pick your spots, you can get cool books in your budget. It might not be that's why I don't do want lists anymore, because you don't know what's going to come up. So if you do a want list, you're sort of putting blinders on. I just don't have a want list. I'll just let things come to me, and then, you know, I'll score whatever. But it leaves no options sort of wide open.
Nice.
I agree with that.
So Knights is going to get our, what are we doing, spinner rack tonight?
Yeah, one more thing I'm trying to look for, but
actually I just picked up just now when we were on the thing. The guy said to me he's got the reprints that were Marvel previews that were the Golden Age stuff. They look like Marvel Mysteries.
Oh,
I just got. Yeah. I missed out on them the last time. So the guy says I can give you all of them for $20.
Yeah, I got one more thing. It's a little bit unrelated, maybe. I've been talking about it on this show, but if you want to show me real quick. But it was been a record sale or whatever. But this is the 4th printing of D&D. And these boxes are not that rare. I mean, there's 5,000. There was 5,000 made, which, you know, is pretty small, but compared to like comic numbers. But compared to the ones before this, which were like 2,000 or 1,000 print runs, this is kind of plentiful. And this set is by far not even close to like near mint or anything. It is like it's nice. compared to the other stuff, but is not even close to like our standards of like really nice. Like there was some rust on the staples, but we had never seen prices this much. So keep your eyes out.
I will. I will. I'm going to hit the antique shops this weekend. So I'm real excited about that. Cool.
Yeah, let me show you. So this is an example. I don't know this book.
Oh yeah, nice.
It's a 75.
Dr. Fate.
Wow.
Right. So how much you think that should be worth a lot? It's more fun 70.
I mean, I feel that's a kind of niche. So.
But it's not a key, but it's pre-More Fun 73, right?
Yeah, it's slightly key because it's fighting military. If you're into that, but
yeah, it's a really nice copy. Good looking, cool. So
what year is that?
I would say it should be 4K or
I was going to say
3K,
5K.
but I could see it going for smaller. Yep.
I thought 5K at least.
It's available on eBay and nobody's bought it yet. I'm watching it because it's such a good price. I feel like that's a decent price on that.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's a decent deal and nobody's buying it. So
something Chris Barrett brought up that is in the same realm, same company as Sandman. Sandman books in 2014 and 15, you couldn't find them anywhere. They were all expensive. It came way down. I'm not way down in like, but about half of the big high grade ones that were going for 20, 30,000 are now barely breaking 10.
Oh yeah. Well, I hope it happens to the Spectre More Fun 54 because
54, yeah. I just saw. Well, that's one of the. I'm making a list of the books that people want that are extremely hard to find. You know.
Oh, I have a bunch of those.
Welcome, Kenneth Bird. He says hi to everybody here tonight. Great having you here.
Yeah, I really want a Golden Age Spectre book.
Yeah, very good stuff. So we'll get the spinner rack heading.
Yeah, I'm just about ready.
What was I going to say? There's you know, when we're saying this, we're not saying to go run out and buy these things now. Obviously, you choose your own collection. But what we're saying is that as much as the stock market has been fluctuating on those small securities where it's up to 300, then down to 90, then 200, and down to 120. In the comic world, we have seen that even in the Golden Age, not just in the modern spec world of, all right, this book's hot because of this coming out and then it comes back down. I mean, I remember Batman Adventures 12, up and down, up and down. Now it's on an upswing again, and then it'll go on a downswing again. But these are books that you have to take into account the rarity and scarcity of some of these as well. So, but we're ready to go start this right now. Everybody, it's Tuesday night. It is the night before you head to your comic shop. We're going to take you back in time, starting in the year. How far are we going back this today? We're going to 39?
We're starting back in 37 tonight.
We're going to 1937, and this is the first time we're going to walk into the comic shop. And the first book you see on the rack is... I'm in.
Number one. What is this? Number one, yeah.
Number one, I'm in.
I don't know if it's anything like key or not, but
yes, it is.
Doesn't even have a price on it. Look at that thing.
No, that is the great Mr. Gould himself. But it's not his first appearance. Remember, Dick Tracy goes back to 1931.
Wow.
Yeah, Dick Tracy goes all the way back to the comic strips to 1931.
Is this his first comic appearance?
Let me look that up here.
It's a nice cover, though.
Chester Gould for all you guys.
Too bad it doesn't say number one on it.
If you ever want to know, this is my vintage 1950 collection of Chester Gould books here. So this is some cool stories here. This book way back when was $7 off the shelf, 1931 to 1951. This is the book that came out I think the book came out in 70, this one. But let me look at the comics. So this would be 1937. This is probably one of the first color ones of the blank. Would be the bad guy, probably. Dick Tracy, the detective. Again, great stuff. October 4th, 1931 was the State of Crime. and Dick Tracy came out there, and he did most of the work for 20 straight years, almost every one, before the great Joe Staton actually took over for him for a little while. Principal character in 1937 was Baldy Stark, Angeline Baldy Madeline, the Blank. Like I said, that's probably a Blank story, so that was the early comic book villain or bad guy they had.
This is first comic book appearance right here.
Which one do you have? Is that the which one is that? Hang on.
Popular comics.
Popular, yeah. I was going to say there's a Popular Comics where he's in 1936, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great. Here's a great story about that comic. That literally took stuff that was printed in your newspaper and put them in comics. That was one of the first books ever to do that, because pulps did not do that. But yeah, I'm a big Chester Gould, Dick Tracy fan. So
highest graded copy right there for $10,000.
Yeah, well, it might be something I'd be. Not right now. I gotta hide some stuff from the wife, to be honest with you. Well, no, she was waiting for me in the car while I was finishing up the deal, and I came out with the first box was the Iron Man, and she's like, "All that for this?" I'm like, "I'm not done." Then I came back with the helmet. Then I came back with the comics. Then I came out with 2 banks, Spider-Gwen and a Hulk bank for the kids, because they were in the back seat. We were on our way to a barbecue joint to get some food.
That has definitely saved me. See, DS, this is why you might want to go for this eventually, because when you get the big thing you traded for, but then, and you're just like, what? And you hear what? And then you're like, but look, all this stuff for the kid, and the kid's going crazy, and then all forgiven.
Yeah, I'll keep it in mind for sure.
Yeah. My wife actually likes all the collecting I do. She's like, "You getting into props again? Why not?" And she's like, "Well, you know how you always say, you can always get a whole nother set of that books cheaper in a couple of years." I said, "Yep." But I already have my original God of Thunder set. I keep that separately because that just completes the collection.
I just tell
breaking a setup.
My wife is always happy when I say, well, I got rid of all this stuff, and now I just have this one thing. And she's like, "Oh, sweet, less clutter."
She said she would let me if she wanted to. She said, "Now that's something I allow that to hang up in the bedroom." I think she's got a thing for it.
Looks like you'll be wearing that Thor helmet.
It's a little too heavy. I put it on her, and she was like, "Ow! It's so heavy." It's metal, and the spike on top is really sharp. You couldn't get into a con with it. That's flat out why this thing never sold. You couldn't. It's so heavy. I mean, it weighs about almost 8 to 10 pounds at least, and it's a full on. Well, maybe about 7 pounds, 8 pounds. But this spike here, you ram in somebody with this thing, you're gonna take them out. But it's beautiful.
All right, do I have to share again, or?
Yeah, let me set that up for you while I move this over. All right. Oh, you're there. Just bring it back up.
I'm there. Okay.
All right. So Dick Tracy, 1937. Here we
are.
Yeah.
What we're doing tonight is just the first. We're gonna go to the end of the war.
Okay.
Because I tried doing every. I like every week to be accurate would be cool, but it's really tough because the days of the week change. Like, this year for us, that date is not a Tuesday, and it gets like complicated, and it just takes a lot more time. And I feel like some of the reporting is a little bit not so great, because sometimes I've noticed they put a lot of some publishers, they'll just say everything came out on the 1st of that month, and I'm just like, I don't know about that. Like, why would all those books come out on the 1st? It seems ridiculous.
So, Superman Action Comics was April 18th, 1938.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, they're great. It's believable, but anyway. So still in 37, I was surprised that More Fun was at 19 already, like in 37. Mm-hmm. Like, they've been going for a while. Is that DC's oldest title? It's got to be, right?
No, I think Detective Comics is there first.
No.
Tech One? When was Tech One?
Well, it's funny you should ask that because it was this same month.
I was gonna say I always thought Tech One was the first book. Yeah.
37.
Yeah.
Which I feel like people throw that out there like, oh, that's DC Comics, Detective One. And it's like, well, actually that wasn't their first book by a long shot, so
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
You never I don't think I've
never seen a more fun below 19, but
I've never seen this. Have you even seen this for sale ever?
I don't think I have.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen pictures of it, and it's in your Gerbers, but it's certainly not something you ever see for sale.
It almost like doesn't even look like a real comic.
Let me see how many exist on the census. Anybody ever check that out? Let's check that out.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a massively expensive book if that came up in any grade. I never see it. I mean, even you see stuff even like the single-digit text, like even Tech 8.
Yeah.
That doesn't come up very often, and that's, still I've seen several of those. I mean, there's probably one on eBay. This one I don't think I've ever seen for sale.
Let's see. Sorry, some stuff got out of order. Let me just make sure. Get this back on track.
Okay, Detective Comics #1. There are 15 on the census.
Wow.
Highest is a 6.5. There are 3 of those. A 5.5, 3 5.0s, 2 4.5s, 2 3.5s, 3 3.0s, and 1 2.5. And then there are 17 restored, so 33 total. Now let me think if that's correct. Then I think.
Yeah, Tech 31 Kid said Tech was the 3rd book.
Oh,
More Fun was the 1st, and then New Comics, Adventure Comics.
Oh, that's right. New Adventure Comics was before Tech. That's right.
Speaking of,
he says they're out there. He's seen half a dozen in the last 30 years. Yeah,
that's not much.
It's like one every other year or almost every third year.
And he's been nose to the grindstone since like the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, I've been back in the hobby for like 5 years, maybe 6 years. I might have seen one, but I don't recall. But
we got to have him, Ben, on the show because he has a really unique perspective because he was he's like my timely mentor, and he had to put up with all my timely questions like, I don't know, 7 years ago or something when I was like, hey, oh my God, like, have you seen this thing, blah, 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 Captain America, did you know that, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, kid, let me tell you some stuff.
So the last sale of a Detective One was a 4.5 in August of 18 for $38,500. And then there's been a restored 8.0 that's been bounced around twice, but then before that you got a 3.5, and then I'm looking for. There's a lot of restored, like I said. The highest, I think the 4.5 is the highest Universal I've seen. That's since 2002. So there's been a total of 19 sales since 2002, either on eBay, Comic Link, Comic Connect, or Heritage. So
crazy.
Yeah, I'll tell you one of my fantasy collecting goals. You guys probably won't even buy this, but I would like to have at some point when I have enough money and enough time to have a complete run of Tech 1 through 26. That's it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be hard as hell.
Yeah, it'd be hard as hell.
That'd be fun though.
It would be fun. It would take a long time. It's really not even the money wouldn't be it would be finding them. Now, that would be the tough part, but because some of them are going to take you forever. You might never get them, but just the pre-that Tech run, I think would be awesome to have.
And having done this show for so long, and I'm so thankful to you guys it's amazing we found this group that can blab with each other every week for so long, but and it still feels like a new show all the time.
Yeah.
But when I start looking at those old detective covers before Batman, like they remind me of a lot of this, you know, pre-code and like crime, and I don't know, that just makes me like them so much more. I don't know what happened, but I mean, has that happened to you, DS, or have you always loved those?
What, the early text?
Yeah.
I've always loved the early text. There's the, what is it, Tech 13 or 19, the Fu Manchu cover. It's got like the lab set up with the Asian guy in there. That's one of my absolute favorites. I don't know what number it is, 19 or 17 or something. It's in the teens, I think. I can't remember the name of it. I like Tech 8 a lot. And then there's a lot of those pre-bat techs have these real cool noir crime scenes.
Yeah, totally.
Reaching over the brick wall to grab the guy, that one's cool.
But they don't feel pulpy.
Dynamite in the cave, and there's a massive shadow on the wall, somebody approaching him. That one is awesome.
I like that they don't feel pulpy though. They feel like comic.
Right.
You know, which I like. I like that.
18, yeah, Tech 31. Ben says 18. That's the one I'm talking about. Tech 18 is one of my absolute favorites. I like Tech 8 a lot, just in its simplicity and its elegance. I like some of those noir crime ones, especially the one with the guy in the cave. I don't even know what number that is. That one's cool. Yeah, I really like the early techs, and I will buy one at some point. You know, maybe this year or next year I'll pick up one, but I really want a good one in a good condition. Like good condition, I mean like 3.0 to 5.0, just unrestored, that looks good. And they're not super expensive. I mean, aside from some of the massive ones, the rest of the pre-Batman techs are, you know, in VG, you're talking anywhere from $3 to $6 grand. That's not outrageous. They're not keys. They're just super old, cool books.
Yeah. I've never really left the comic world. I would say maybe a brief time in the late 90s for a little bit, early 2000s. I probably didn't buy as much, but my first Golden Age comic, and I still haven't ever bought it, and I kind of switched when I was going to collect when I went to the Golden Age. My forever one I've always wanted still is Adventure Comics number 40, the Sandman cover with the Craig Flessel with the Sandman. He's blowing the gas and the guy's passing out, choking. It's I think it's from 1939. I think it's July of 39 actually. It says on the cover. And when I was researching, Adventure Comics was always my favorite of the Golden Age. Always was. It still is. Still is my favorite before Fiction.
Speaking of.
Yeah. There you go. That's number 26.
Yeah. 24. I had this in my hands at a con a while ago, and I was like, you know, it was like $300 or something, cheap, you know, and I was like, I don't know, and I just passed on it because I think I've seen it like there the year before as well, and then I passed, and then I emailed the guy. I found his, and then he's like, yeah, I still got it, and then I passed again for some dumb reason, and then now like, yeah, I can't. I mean, I just didn't realize how rare this thing was. So I never see it. And
the new adventures run
to a weird thing to like too. It's just like, why would I love that cover? But holding it in my hands, I don't know. It just really felt cool.
That was my favorite run. Still is Adventure Comics. Before the superheroes, I mean,
yeah, it's pre Superman.
Yeah, all the stuff from 39 and the Sandman was the character, but then of course I first found the elephant, and then the bear, and then Our Man fighting the bear, and then Dr. Fate fighting this, and it was always an animal or like the canoe cover, or there's always something about an adventure comic. There were a lot of stories in them, so I actually I had one where my uncle had one, and he let me read it, and I don't know what my cousin did with it, but there you go. But there's another run I like, is the late more funds with the action.
Hey, let me just say, if anyone really likes the pre-Bat text and the early adventure comics, check out an Instagrammer. His Instagram name is Cryptic Crap.
Yep.
And he has one of my favorite collections on Instagram. Like of the top 3 collections on Instagram that I like, he's in the top 3. And he has lots of really good early adventures and techs. They're in nice shape, and he's got quite a few of them, surprisingly a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really, really cool accounts to check out. Cryptic Crap.
Yeah, he was actually one of the first, when I first got on Instagram, he was one of the first 3 I ever did before I ever was on YouTube or anything else. He was one that I came up because I went on searching. A guy says, hey, a guy has that adventure comics you like, the one with the hippo on it. I'm like, it's the elephant, dude. But he has almost every one, but he has on there, and I ask him all the time, and says, I would like this if you're ever willing to part with it.
Yeah, the elephant one.
It's Flessel, and it's just impossible to find. This is the rarest of the adventure because there's only 8 on the census total, including the restored and all that. 8, and it's one of those that I've never seen. I've seen one at a con at a 6.5, and I said maybe I'll find it later on. And the next month it was on Heritage, and I didn't know about it, and I was like, I'm not buying online. It's not the way I am. And that's the last one I've ever seen sold. I've had people show me, say, hey, this guy's got one. I'm like, well, I know who's got them. But Cryptic Comic also, Cryptic Crap, he also has some crazy movie posters from the noir era that you would never, that I've shown to the main guy over here who is the silkscreen printer from Woodstock all the way through the mid 70s, did almost every band out of the silk screener over here. He has all the original posters for it. And when I showed him this guy's stuff, he's like, yeah, I worked on a few of those. Yep, I worked on a few of those. And he's just an old guy, but that's what he did for a living, was do that stuff.
I got to shout out Ben again, Tech 31, because so his perspective, though, I found is really unique because he like remembers, well, because he had a lot of timelies in the 90s, and he saw them rise up super high. I think it was in the 90s, like the early, I can't remember when they got really high in price, because, for a while, like Marvel 1 was more than Tech 27, and then he's seen them fall. And I'm not sure when that period was, but it was, probably before 2005. And then he's seen them rise back up again. So, like, to the actual numbers that, like, I'm sure they're past the numbers that he's seen in the 90s. But I'd love to pick his brain about, what he thinks, because he's seen these weird moments in pricing history that were recorded because there was no CGC.
Yeah.
I'd like to pick his brain because, I feel like we're definitely going through some weird thing now. Like, I bet we could look back later and we'll see prices go kind of crazy, and then COVID will hit and there'll be like some other craziness, and then they'll probably, hopefully, level off to a more predictable thing, for a while after that, I'm hoping.
Yeah, one of the when I graduated high school, I was young. I was a little bit younger than almost everybody else by at least a year. Graduated younger. I skipped a grade or 2, and then when everybody else had a car, I got a ride from a guy, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to stop by this comic shop," and I'm like, "Great!" I'm a big comic fan, and everything else. And in there was a row of the some early actions and stuff like that. And I remember him saying, "Can you believe that book is $500?" This was maybe 1990, 91. And I looked up and I'm like, $500? And it's not even it's nobody's on it. And remember the old guy behind the counter, and he just turned around and he goes, there's no CGC at this time or anything else. So there's no census looking. He goes, I bet you I'm the only one that's got that book in the tri-state area. And he might have been right. It was an Adventure Comics a New Adventure Comics 25 or 26, and that was one of them. But then the one when we wanted $500. But I mean, these things were pristine looking. We always joke, whatever happened to that shop in White Plains? What did that guy do? And apparently he sold it to some sports collector who, I guess, got rid of him at some show and started a sports collecting enterprise. But that was the big thing. That was the big thing in 1991. Remember, baseball cards was the autographs, and you were getting Beckett magazines. I mean, you couldn't find. I mean, our Bible was Overstreet. There was nothing else, you know. There was Wizard a couple of years later, maybe a half a year later, but that even was more. You know, nobody.
They didn't even have the old stuff. I don't think.
No, they kind of started in like the 50s or 60s, maybe even. I mean, you couldn't find any Golden Age stuff, especially not anything rare like Amazing Mystery Funnies or anything.
I was talking to a friend because I was trying to narrow down. I found him on Facebook. I hadn't seen him in like 20 years or whatever, but like I was like, hey, I remember driving from Boston to New York City to go to a New York Comic-Con with you. Like, was it this year? And yeah, we talked about it, and it was it was 92. But I remember at that con seeing Amazing Fantasy for like $1,000, and it must have been like really nice. But we were like, "What the? That's insane! $1,000."
Yeah. I mean, we always saw the AF-15 for like $1,200, and I remember paying $400 for my Journey into Mystery 84, and that was like in the mid to late 90s from a guy. But
that was a great con. I got Neil Gaiman's signature. I got the dude who drew The Crow. I got Mignola's, Jim Lee, Walt Simonson, like so many people. It was insane. And there was no lines or anything. It was awesome. I didn't have to pay anything. It was a great con. But I wish I could have met this guy, Bill Everett, who drew this cover.
I was going to say, this is a great Bill Everett early work.
And this is 39. We're in 39 now. Look at that. That's a great one.
Yep. That's the one. One of my favorite of the action is that, the train. Any of the time when Superman is going up against a vehicle of some sort, whether it be a boat, a submarine, a plane, or a train, I'm in.
Oh, here's one I knew you'd like.
Yes, that is number 7 or 2.
Yep, number 7.
Yeah, I was just talking today to our good buddy Jeff, Golden Age Guru. He's like, "What jumbos are you looking for?" I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 7. And I said, but the really one is the 23. Now there's one out on eBay now that I'm probably going to talk to this guy about. I'm waiting to see how much it goes for because
what's a 23?
First elephant cover by the great Dan Zolnowicz.
Oh.
Extremely well done. It's not as cool as the Jungle Comics Will Eisner one that I'm looking for, which is which if you guys don't know, I lost the bid on that one. That was when I bid on Comic Link, and I'm the high bidder from the day it appeared to 3 seconds before the end. I'm the high bidder, and I got sniped.
On what?
Jungle 2, Jungle Comics number 2, Will Eisner.
What auction?
That was the Comic Link auction about. It was around Thanksgiving 2 years ago, pre-COVID.
My oldest jumbo is the 20.
Yep, the Sheena.
Yep.
Yeah, 23 is the Dan Zolnowicz cover, and
here we go, another cool detective.
There's a cool Blue Fine jumbo, right? Isn't that a jumbo where he's stabbing it's like a yellow cover. The guy's stabbing a spear into like this green dragon.
Yep. That's
yeah.
Blue Fine.
5, isn't that number 5?
Actually, Jumbo 1. Maybe you guys can check for me on this one as well. Jumbo 1 is known as Jack Kirby's first work in comics, first paid work ever. I believe it is also Lou Fine's first work, but we're not 100% sure, and I can't get provenance of that from anybody. This is when we.
Those are so hard to find.
Oh yeah, like I said, The last one I saw sold. What was it for 23,500? Yep.
Jumbo 10.
You like this one, Diaz? Oh, Jumbo 10. Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. Do I like this one? Yeah, I like it. It wouldn't be the first one I would go after, but it's cool.
I like that Jumbo because it's like Buck Rogers to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. It's a Lou Fine cover. It's, I would like to own that someday. And there's a fair number of those out there. I see them come up often-ish, and they're not crazy. There was a short period where they were crazy, but I think and then a bunch came on the market and it cooled off for a minute. Yeah, it's expensive, but I think it's like hit 5 range price-wise. I don't think it's crazy, but it's equally cool. Actually, hit 5 is a little better because of the black cover, but.
Here's a nice adventure, 1939.
Yeah, that's cool. The difference for me between the pre-bat text and the adventures, and it's obviously within the title, the detective stuff is very noir crimey, obviously. And then the adventure has all these crazy animal fights going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just I love how DC have these 2 titles with completely different categories and themes, both equally well done, and they both grab you. It's really cool the way DC really had a really good start to these comics.
And at that time they were like, we don't want any, like the editors did not want anything on the cover like cluttering up, like any word balloons or anything. So they're kind of this cool action moments.
Yeah, it's very minimalist. You're right.
Yeah, they forbid them to do that. I thought I never really paid attention to this. Centaur, I believe.
Yeah, that's a Centaur.
Yep,
that's pretty cool. It's kind of like crime. It's just kind of neat because these pre-war period. It's like this brief period in Golden Age where everything is happening, like superhero, crime, like all kinds of stuff, and it quickly changes, just a total superhero, total war. That's what it feels like, once it hits like 41, but it's a cool period where they're just trying out there's even Westerns at this time.
Yeah, they have the Western. Centaur has a nice Western title.
Yeah.
It's called Western Adventures or Western Thrillers or something. This Keen Detective Funnies title has some good stuff. That's one of the better Centaurs, I think.
Yeah.
It's got that's the title that has that eye on it. It's on several.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, several covers and issues have that eye. I don't exactly know what the deal is with it, but it's like a recurring stories type thing.
Here's a nice. So in 1940 now. Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's Spectre. Yeah.
So all right, I gotta have a I have a more fun quiz for us.
Okay.
If I can find my notebook here. Which so who do you think had more covers? The Spectre or Dr. Fate?
Of in Golden Age or overall?
In more fun.
I would say
Fate.
That's pretty even, honestly.
Or Green Arrow.
No, not Green Arrow.
So rate who had the most covers.
I'm going to go Dr. Fate 1, Spectre 2.
I think Spectre had the most.
And then
but it's close. It's real close, I think.
I think Dr. Fate, because he had so many.
I don't know. I think it's
also in a lot of adventure.
It's probably like 17 to 15.
All right. And then who had the biggest consecutive, out of Dr. Fate and Spectre, who had the biggest consecutive cover run?
Probably Dr. Fate.
Yeah, because that was drawn the same way for a while.
They had that run. They had like 5 in a row or one point.
Yeah. Is that only on More Fun, or does that include Adventure?
Only More Fun.
Okay.
And then who had the most interior appearances, Dr. Fate or Spectre?
That one's probably Spectre, I would
I'm gonna
say.
say more than likely Spectre. The only reason I think it is because Spectre kind of, if Spectre was on, he was in almost a lot of them. He was in a lot.
All right, and then which one, Spectre or Dr. Fate, appeared in the Silver Age first?
Dr. Fate did.
Yeah, I don't know what's the first appearance.
Dr. Fate did. He was first. I think in order, it was Our Man, Dr. Fate, then the original Alan Scott.
All right, well, as far as interior appearances, Spectre had 50 in More Fun, and Dr. Fate only had 44. I don't know what you guys guessed, but
I'm right. I think both agreed on that.
For biggest consecutive cover runs, Spectre came so close.
4 to 5?
He had 6, but then in between that, there was one Dr. Fate. So Dr. Fate had 9 consecutive cover runs. And then you guys were both off on the how many cover appearances. Green Arrow just wrecked. There was over 22.
Yeah. I mean, well, we didn't
over 22, and then Spectre beat Dr. Fate by 3 covers. He had 14, and Dr. Fate had 11.
Well, I was close between those two. I said 17, 15.
Yeah, I was thinking in the teens.
And then Dr. Fate's first was the first to reappear in the Silver Age. You were right on that. 1963 in Justice League 21, and then 1965 for the Spectre in Showcase 60.
Yep.
And which popular artist has a very early DC cover of one of these characters? Popular modern-ish 80s, 90s guy.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Victor?
Not in the Golden Age, but just of the character. Very, very, one of his earliest DC works.
Neil Adams?
A very big superstar who's still alive today. Still, I'm not sure if he's still making comics, but he kind of acts like he is. But
who? Todd McFarlane?
Steranko.
You're right, Todd McFarlane.
McFarlane. Oh, really?
Right there.
Look at that. And this once got talked about as if it was his first DC work, but I think it's not correct. I think Infinity something.
Infinity 14. Let me give you a quick story, okay? So when I was collecting McFarlane stuff, I was researching what was his first cover, what was his first work for DC, what was his first whatever, all the first for McFarlane's. I'm like, it'd be cool to have the first of those. I don't have any idea what they are. Went to research them and found conflicting stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'll just go check CGC. They didn't have any of the stuff on their labels. And I was like, man, that's weird. So I just did the research. I listed every book that he had done for like the first part of his career. I put them all in order of when they came out. I found which one was his first cover, which one was his first work. I emailed CGC with the info and had them change and add stuff to the labels. And I got Infinity Inc. 14 label note added that said first published Todd McFarlane cover.
Nice.
The other ones I didn't get credit for, but they have the first published work by Todd McFarlane, first work for DC. And so Infinity Inc. 14, first published cover, and then Coyote 11 was first published work. And then All-Star Squadron, whatever, was first work for DC, I think. I think that's how. So, but yeah, I actually remember sending them the email, and I had high-grade copies of Coyote 11 and Infinity Inc. 14. Yeah. And after they changed the notes, and updated it. I sent those in, and they all came back 9.8, and then I sold them. So whenever you see those Infinity Ink 14s out there in CGC sales, I got that note on there. I think that's you would think by that time I did this, they would have already known what was Todd McFarlane's first book, but it wasn't out there. So
my next CGC Golden Age submission is including a Providence that I have written up, that I had everything checked out on it, and I took it from several different sources, including notes from the families of everybody, to prove that Crime Fighters 4, the artwork in Crime Fighters 4, is technically the first work of John Buscema, because it's the first published work by John Buscema, according to backup number 14 by Tristan Lesper, info by Stephanie Petit. This is on the error tracker, and in January 2009, I had her document this. However, it's not the first published art by John Buscema, but it's his first professional art done. The first published art is Lawbreaker Always Lose number 3, which I also have. August 1948. Information about this checklist, and I went through a list of everything here. I said, I've got the job number, I've got the crime, I have the check that he got, how much he got paid for it, who paid him was Stan Lee, and the amount he was paid for it was $15.
Nice. That's good stuff there.
And I'm fighting with them because I'm really upset that they still put they should put first superhero Marvel work at superhero work by John Buscema at Marvel when he did Strange Tales 150, but he didn't even draw Doctor Strange in that one. He drew Dum Dum Dugan in that storyline. So I'm having a tough time trying to prove the point.
Yeah.
It's what you do is I have my Providence, and they're like, well, we got, a lot of people have certified that group saying it's that. I'm like, but it's wrong. So
well, CGC is very open to, if you email them with info, they're very responsive. I've done it numerous times. There was one Jungle comic that had a story in it in the Jungle comics featuring a villain named Dr. Wortham. And Dr. Wortham was running around the jungle trying to exterminate Gina or whoever it was. Sort of like what he was doing in real life, trying to exterminate the comics, is what he was doing to the comic heroes in that story. And it was a Dr. Wortham, and it looked like Dr. Wortham. And
I actually have that.
This has an appearance of Dr. Wortham. It's a parody of Dr. Wortham. I went back and forth with them. They would not agree to call it a Dr. Wortham parody, but they did agree to put on the note that it has a villain. It was in the Camilla story. It had a villain in the Camilla story named Dr. Wortham. So that's on the notes. But they would make a parody of the Dr. Wortham. So.
I have that book in a slab, and I might get a re-slab just to have that put on it.
Yeah, it's cool. They're very responsive, and they don't know everything, and they don't have everything right. What's missing? You can email them instead of complaining about CGC. Just email them with your info. They'll do the research, and they're very responsive, and they'll change and add notes where necessary.
And they are really good about it. And I like the fact that I said, let me send you my Providence, and I've scanned this for them and sent it to them, and they looked at it and they says, wow, so it's December 1948, but this book came out in November of 48. In August of 48. So technically it was published in August 48 in a different one. However, the Crime Fighters was only done twice a year. So while he wrote it and did it in May of 48 as an audition, his audition piece is in Crime Fighters 4, which is technically the second one. And I just have the book over there. It's an Abraham Lincoln story. It's really badass. But you could see that he's young. It's not like the Buscema that it's not your Conan, Silver Surfer, Thor, Avengers, John Buscema.
Well, look at this young cape, bottom of the cape there. Young Mcfarlane.
Yeah, it is Mcfarlane where he messes with the brands without any qualms. I mean, let's be honest, he changed Spidey into a spaghetti web. So everything
is Perez-ish, except he put like 2 extra, little folds in that cape at the bottom there.
Yeah.
But it's a cool cover. I remember having this.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I bought it at the time, like very early, '90s because I was a Mcfarlane fan. I did buy some of his early stuff. Infinity. I remember buying some of those Infinities and not being impressed. But I feel like Hulk is when he got good. But
yeah, I really want a high grade of that Showcase 60. I want a 90 plus of that.
Yeah, these are nice.
I'll look for one for you if you really
I like
want.
the Spectre more.
I have a guy who I sold my Showcase 55 to. It was an upgrade for this one. He does not slab books though.
Yeah, if it's a 90 plus Showcase 60, I'd be interested because
he does not slab any book. He doesn't get it. He's just one of those old. I mean, he's in his mid 60s and he just refuses.
But DS, it has the code on it.
Yeah, I know, but there's exceptions. I make certain things. I do like the Spectre. And it would be an investment book, but I have a Silver Surfer 4. That's got a code stamp on it too.
Oh yeah, okay.
But I love Thor, and that's such a killer cover. I like Spectre a lot. I want a Golden Age Spectre cover, and I want a high grade of that.
I'm working on all the Phantom Stranger. I'm working on the Phantom Stranger run, and people.
Yeah, that's good too.
Oh,
I love that run.
I want a number 1 Golden Age one, but they're pricey and they're hard to find in nice condition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the bronze run, the bronze Phantom Stranger.
Yeah.
Back to 1940.
Oh,
is this that one that just sold?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a nice robot cover. I've had a couple have come up, and I just hasn't been the right timing, and I'll get one at some point. I really like that.
I like how it's like there's not much said. It's just like, wow, look at all that stuff going on. Like, but they're not like blah blah blah. Look what happened. Blah blah blah. It's just like, bam, look at that.
Well, it's a pretty early MLJ. I mean,
1940.
Yeah. And I like the guy inside the robot has eyes on it. And the guy inside the robot has like a brown hooded suit, like sewn together in the front. It's very cool looking.
Yeah.
And then the girl on the bottom is a very Lou Fine-esque figure. I think this is a Charles Bureau cover.
Yep, Bureau.
Yeah, really. And such a
like it's back in these days. It was still a pre Robin Tech, the last one, 1940.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's almost a horror cover there.
Yep.
This book here, if you want to see it, really rare.
It used to be cheapish, but now,
Well, maybe you can get in with Legend to get on his will, and he can bequeath you his full set of Phantom Strangers.
Yeah, well, this one's the 1953.
Yeah, Legend's got the full run of that.
Yeah, I got first dibs on his number 1.
Yeah,
this is extremely scarce. Of all of them, this is the one you very rarely find. I mean, you can find it, but it's like $2,000. Look at it. It's just ridiculously well done.
Oh, I did pick up another book.
What'd you get?
Oh, you want to see it now?
Yeah.
I don't have it yet, but I have a picture of it.
Sure.
Did you just win it right now?
No, I bought it tonight, but I didn't show you guys. Yeah, I think you'll dig it. Make my screen big. I'll show you.
Cool. Let me get that thing back up. Here we go.
Oh, or not.
No, go ahead. Show it.
Yeah, make me big and I'll show you.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going
there you go.
Share screen. Oh, wow. Is that who I think it is?
Tarzan?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. You don't see too many hyena covers.
No.
And it's black and high grade.
Yeah, it's 1937. It's Tip Top 13, so it's
that's
pretty old. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's rare, and I love the black on the top, and just a cool scene.
6'5", that's amazing.
Yeah, Comic Magazine's asking who's the cover artist. I don't know who it is. It could be a Hogarth cover. I don't know.
Hard to find on those tip tops, yeah.
I mean, it's 1937 Tip Top. It's not like the artists were signing everything for this back then. And it's a United feature syndicate. Most of their early books aren't signed, so you don't know who they are, like Tip Tops. So I don't know, but pretty cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, I like the black on top, the condition, the year, it's early, and I like the hyena. You don't see hyenas.
How much did that run for you?
400 and change.
And
So,
where'd you get it? Where'd you get it?
my comic shop.
Oh, nice.
I don't know, $400. I mean, I don't know. Is that worth it? It seems all right. Like that seems like a pretty rare, cool book for $400.
Yeah.
6.5 for 1937.
I mean, 1937 alone, it's.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, 6.5 is like high grade for Golden Age. Let's face it. Come on.
Oh yeah, I mean when I found an 8.0, I was like, of a book, I was like, are you kidding me?
That's
Never.
a 9.8 of the modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I make impulsive buys like that, and if it just strikes me that's a super cool book, and that's one of them. And the colors are good. I like the black border and the hyena, and it's 1937, nice grade. So why not?
I think Liz bought me a Phantom Stranger 1 Golden Age magnet one time.
Oh, here's one that didn't this go for a super high money?
Well, it's there's been a couple out recently, and they have gone high. CGC originally had this labeled as a Lou Fine cover, and it's not a Lou Fine cover. So a couple recent ones on auction sites have been old holders, and the auction sites advertise it as a Lou Fine classic cover. It's not. It's a George Tuska cover. And you can look at it and tell it's not a Lou Fine. It doesn't look anything like a Lou Fine. But yeah, I mean, it's a Fox book, and it's a cool one. So yeah, it's not cheap. But it's not a Lou Fine cover.
Still cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And we had the first appearance of Our Man.
Yeah, that's nice. I like the Sandman up there in the circle above the title.
Yeah. And we got a nice Schomburg early Mystic Timely cover. There's a lot of fire this in February. You'll see.
I think a 2.0 of this just sold for a little over $2,000.
Yeah, it's a tough book. See all that gray kind of behind the guy in green? Sometimes doesn't look so hot unless you have a nice copy. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, I like the Mystics and the Darings.
And here's a supposedly Lou Fine.
That probably is because that's a single-digit one. That's mostly all him.
I still sometimes struggle with what the hell he's holding, but I get it. Some kind of sci-fi's.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what the sci-fi devices and ships are on these old Fox books. It really is tough to tell. You know, some of the science comics, you can't make out what any of those things are.
Yeah. And we got probably one of my favorite ones of
World Best.
Crappy title, but if I were to get one, I would probably choose this one.
Yeah, that's pretty classic.
Yeah. They're not doing anything too stupid yet.
Well, I mean, it's better than number 3, even though number 3 is a key. It's got that stupid baseball cover.
Here's a cool early fight before they go crazy into the war.
Yeah.
Probably Will Eisner or something.
I like that he's stopping that car. It's pretty cool. I don't know. Didn't write down, fortunately. Then we got Master number 1. You might want to pick this up if you're specking number 1.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like all the stuff on the side, all the little pictures.
Mm.
And exciting number 1 also came
That's a
out.
nice book. Who did that
You
cover?
never see this.
Is that Alex?
No,
Okay.
that's
It's in
I can't remember his name. He did some of the early stuff on this publisher. Do you have it right there, Knights? I can't remember the guy.
I don't have it.
It's Nidor, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
or standard, yeah.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. It's not a very well-known name.
And then we got a early Pep. So this is, yeah, you know, as much as I love Cap, I have to admit, you know, this was almost a full year before Cap appeared.
Yeah, that's a nice one too.
And we got an early Mystery Man. Not the best.
Yeah, but pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, that's a nice book.
The Rex Dexter.
It's interesting, the whole skeleton thing in there inside.
Rex Dexter's family left Earth and traveled to Mars, and then they got stranded there. And he was a little kid at the time. And as he got older, when he became old enough to fix and pilot the ship, he flew back to Earth. I think his parents passed away, and he flew back to Earth. And it was many years later, and he came back to like a futuristic Earth.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they like escaped Earth. I think it was during an apocalypse or something. They escaped to Mars, or they went to visit or something. And he was a little kid, and they got stranded on Mars. And it took for him to grow up to fix the ship and come back to futuristic Earth. So that's Rex Dexter. It's him back on Earth in the future after being stranded on Mars with his family. Pretty cool storyline.
I always forget if this is the Lex Luthor one. I think it might. Is this?
For you Phantom Stranger fans, I meant to say this last. I was going to actually talk to Legend. There's an omnibus coming out, I think this year or next year, that collects, you ready? All 6 issues of the Golden Age, all of the 60s revival, and the 80s revival, from 87, I think, to 88. And it stops, and you don't have to worry about the new 52. So, really good stuff. And it's coming out, the last I checked, it was like May of 2022. So, yeah, it was on my to-do list. I mean, omnibus of Phantom Stranger, I'm absolutely buying it. It will go for over $100 new. So
I can't get those. I'm not strong enough to read those.
They're a pain in the ass.
You know, this
Avengers,
book,
I've got Thor. Yeah, I've got a lot of omnibuses.
this Wonder World 12,
Kids,
I tried to buy one of these in the Comic Connect or Comic Link auction like a month ago, and I just missed it. I was an underbidder on it. Not maybe the underbidder, but I was under by not much, a couple $100 maybe. And I missed out on it. It's such a cool book. I love it. That's a fine cover. And Golden Age Guru has like a 5.0 of this that he's shown before.
Ooh.
He doesn't want to come off of that because he likes it too. But man, I really want one of these Wonder Worlds, man. I just missed a Mystery Men 2, which is a very similar Lufine sci-fi. And this one I missed recently. But I'm getting closer. I feel like every one I lose, I'm closer. So eventually I'll get one.
I like the the buildings falling over. It's pretty insane. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and again, like, you know, that's a gun or something, but the way it's drawn, it's hard to make out what the machine is, even though it's like obviously a death ray of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I love the colors on it too.
Oh, here's the one I want.
Yeah, that's perhaps the best Spectre cover there is.
God, it's so good.
Yeah. 54? I was going to say, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a weird cover, like what the hell is he doing and who's he doing it to and blah, blah, blah. But it is just so badass.
Yeah, but he's massive. He's grabbing planes out of the air. The earth's on fire behind him.
People running. Yeah.
It's awesome. The cape is like holding it up like Dracula.
So cool.
And I like how the whole scene extends above the title in the title. Like you're in that plane. It's real cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my Spectre cover grail right there.
It is so hard to find, even just a chance to buy it. Sometimes if it comes up, you have a 50-50 chance. Well, actually, it seems like 80% of the time, it's like one of those like 8.0s or whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, well, I can't compete against that. I want I think there was one chance I could have bought like a cover only. And it was back when I was like, that's dumb. Why would I do that? But now it's like, why the hell did I not, and it was probably like $700.
Yeah.
I would so put that up in my room. Here's
Ooh,
a cool. I love with the ease of which he's whipping that car around with one hand. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, it's Hercules.
He's a great, and he's on one leg too. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's way, yeah, that's really good. 41. Hey, storming the Capitol.
Yeah, be careful.
Storm the Capitol cover.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. I thought that was a good one. That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Lou Fine, right?
This one looks
Really,
like Fine, yeah. The guys hanging in the background definitely have a Lou Fine look, and that guy getting hit has a Lou Fine look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks Lou Fine to me.
I'm having a hard time with Nationals telling the difference between
it's tough. If you just look at Uncle Sam, you can hardly tell the difference between Crandall and Fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say
somebody doing it, but the other stuff sort of gives it away, especially like the background, the way he draws bricks and like backgrounds.
Yeah, good call.
And he has, the guys hanging up. He's got that stringy, scrawny kind of look to his figures.
Mm-hmm. I don't like to use it because it's like a pun, but I feel like Lou Fine has a fineness and there's a lot more little line work.
Yeah.
Than Reed.
It's definitely tough though. They can trick you sometimes.
We got another classic.
First
Shield. This is the only, truly only Joe Simon cover.
Is that Cap 2?
Yep. It's a nice one.
Man, Hitler covers back to back on that title. That's
nice. And then number 3 is the first Schomburg one with the red. I mean, it's just like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
3 hits in a row. And I love this.
Me too.
Big robot cover. It's
Good luck finding one. I've been looking for years. I haven't found one.
Yeah, I've never seen it before.
Years, literally years I've been looking. I saw one beat up copy that I didn't want, and that's it. I've never seen another one.
It's a great one.
Never see it.
1941.
Yeah, that's real cool. I like robot covers, especially early robot covers.
Yeah.
I could definitely grab like a BG of this. But if you see one, let me know.
And I like it. It doesn't look goofy or anything. It looks kind of scary and.
Yeah, it's not a goofy one. It's
great.
Cool. I like the red with the That's cool looking.
Then we got a pretty wild one of these guys.
Yeah.
Burning at the stake. It's gonna catch her on fire there. And we got the first appearance of
Black Terror.
Yep.
That's pretty tough.
B?
I was going to say that is Schomburg on that one.
I don't think it is.
I thought he drew the first Black Terror.
I'm pretty sure it's not, but I could be wrong.
Ooh.
But
let's check it out.
It's still a cool cover, I feel. And it's pretty tough to find, but sometimes, when this does come up, it's not that as expensive as you think. He is, I believe, public domain now, so
yes,
I would feel like maybe that's why,
There's a few that are public domain that I want to.
Here's a very early Superman combat cover. They still did not say Nazi or anything like that yet. The wusses.
Richard Hughes.
Oh, yeah, Richard Hughes. Here's a 42. Okay, 42. February 42. This is a cool month because Pearl Harbor happened December 7th, 41. So this is like the earliest that they could make covers responding to that because they're usually like 3 months out. So you start to see a ton of, because like DC, who before were doing this, like, no, don't put the swastika on there. I don't want to get sued by Mr. Hit or whatever the hell they were thinking. That was actually someone was actually afraid of getting sued by Hitler. It's like so silly when you think about it. But And I actually love that yellow S, yellow behind that S there. But after Pearl Harbor, everyone, boom, was just going nuts with the anti-Axis.
That is a Charles Quinlan cover, perhaps?
I don't know. It's pretty neat. I'm not sure if that guy's supposed to be anyone or not. I can't tell if the insignia is actually Axis. Here's the first Cap one responding. You started it. Now, well, I mean, I love this one. It's like so literal. It's like this is the response,
and the yellow cover too. That's cool.
Pearl Harbor, and I love how it's one of the only early Caps where there's no like division. Usually, there's a horizontal line like right below the title.
Oh yeah,
and there's nothing on this one.
Yeah, but you can tell by the way. What number is that?
13.
15. It looks like it's like a Sid Shores or Al Davis.
Yeah, Sid Shores, I believe.
Yeah, because they always make Cap. Those two guys with Cap always give him like this long horse face.
Well, it's funny because at this period, it's like, where the hell was Schomburg? Because there was like nothing by him. I feel like maybe he was getting stuff started for them, and then the war broke out, and they were like, yeah, we need stuff quick. And probably these guys, because Avison and Shores dominated the timely covers at the time for a few months in 42. And I feel like it's probably because they were quick, and Schomburg probably, because he had to have some kind of planned, methodical thing, because in like, say, 1943, he would have some months where there'd be like 6 or 7 timely covers. So it's like you don't just do that without planning, So I don't think he was ready for this, Here's another. I don't see any swastikas or anything, but
that's our flag 5.
That's a hard book to get, though.
Yeah, that is a joke that Lewis and I have been running at every con we go to. Is we have everybody that has any book, the first thing we go to any of the places, what are you looking for? We always say this, our flag 5. And they're like, what?
There's 2 books that are considered the rarest Golden Age books. This one is one of them, and the other one that's sort of tied with this is Challenger number 3, I think. It's the Truth Bomb, if you guys know that one, where the guy's throwing a truth bomb into the head of, I think it's Stalin or some communist. And this is our flag 5. Those are the 2 rarest Golden Age books. This one is 1942, and I know it has a superhero on it, but I think you can make an argument this is the first horror cover.
That's right.
It's got these ghouls or whatever in a cemetery sort of scene with a full moon. I mean, that's a classic horror scene. Unfortunately, it has a superhero on it, so people won't count it. But, this is 3 years before Front Page, which is called the first horror comic, and I think this is a horror cover. I don't know, but I mean, it's super rare and awesome.
Yeah, we've been saying it, like when I went to that con where I made some trades last Saturday, not the one before, but last Sunday. I walked in, I says, hey, what are you looking for this time? I'm like, our flag 5 again. And it's just been, I just have never seen it.
It's got a real pleasing look to it too, because it has so many different colors.
Yeah, the purple
represented, but it's done in a way where it's not like insane, like all over the place. Like it feels kind of rested and nice, but it's like very vivid and complex because it's got that white, it's got blacks, nice blues and reds, purples. Yeah, I mean it's got everything. It's awesome. And we got, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, Super Mystery's hit and miss, mostly hit. This one it's okay, but it's sort of like goofy or something. I don't know.
It's weird, but it's kind of cool. Yep. So here's a response. Remember Pearl Harbor. Another one of those. Yep.
It's a nice MLJ.
Another. Well, actually, yeah, Well, they were already.
Yeah, Victory. I think they were made for this.
I liked the device. There is an interesting one I haven't seen. It's like these weird
Eye gouger.
curved spikes kind of things. I haven't seen one of those before.
Yeah, that's right out of a pulp.
And yep, they responded. Oh, and then Avison, which he drew the most insane Japanese. Like they all had like filed teeth, where they were like every tooth in the Japanese mouth was like a fang. They're really creepy looking.
Yeah, it looks like he's sort of copying Schomburg's style by giving these outlandish primary colors to war machines.
Yeah.
Like, is that a U-boat or a ship? It's bright yellow. You know what I mean?
That's true. Although, I mean, I feel a lot of books were doing that at the time. I don't know if it was a Schomburg thing, but he certainly felt like the artist who didn't need to do that, but did do it. Schomburg did.
I mean, he's got some covers where he's got bright blue planes, bright red guns, bright
absolutely.
You know what I mean? He's just crazy bright colors on all his work, like multiple ones all over the page. It's real cool.
And they were, until this time, the ones who were against the Axis were generally against the Nazis. But now it's like flat out against Japanese. Like I feel like there's very few, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there's very few anti-Japanese covers before Pearl Harbor versus, Nazi. They didn't get there yet, but they will. But I saw this was a burning at the stake kind of thing that it's probably a little too small for you guys, but is someone burning. It looks like he's burning at the stake in the background there, in the center.
What number is that?
This is number 18.
Yeah,
I know we were talking about the burning at the stake thing a while ago, but I don't know.
Yeah, the next issue in this title is the spider cover. It's one of my favorites.
And then this is a classic Manhunter cover, Jack Kirby, considered classic cover.
Yeah, I like the Manhunter covers.
Yeah, I think it's a cool cover. I don't know if I think there's other covers that should be classic. There's
a one where he's standing over the U-boat. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a very opinionated thing that they started calling things classic covers.
Yeah,
anything's a classic to anything.
Yeah, we could do a whole show on that one.
Yeah.
I had books
by CGC because Chamber of Chills 19 is not a classic cover, according to them. And that's like one of the most classic covers of your comics.
And there's books
that literally is on the cover of the Pre-Code Horror Guide.
Yeah. Well, Chamber 19, look, even if you're not into pre-code horror, every person in the hobby knows that cover. Everyone, no matter what you collect, you know the cover to Chamber 19. And
there's even,
it's totally. Like it's of iconic classic covers in comics ever. That's got to be top 5 of any cover ever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's even like classic covers, like on the label where they changed it, and now the newer labels don't have it as classic cover. So they're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, look, you can tell what's a classic cover, but if you're in the hobby, I don't need CGC to tell me. Right. And sometimes they say classic cover on stuff that I'm like, is it really? That's not really that classic of a cover. It's a cover like that nobody ever talks about. You don't ever see. It's not striking. And they're like, classic cover. It's not a classic cover. It's not even a well-known cover. So I don't know how they come up with it.
1942. Now we get 1943. Definitely.
I like this one a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like the Superman against the War Machines ones.
Yep.
The tank. That stuff's cool. The cannon one where he's bending back the cannon.
Yeah, I love that one.
Towards them, yeah.
44. That one's 44. Here's a pretty good one.
Early Airboy, first heap, right?
It's a I don't know what first it is, but it's
a
contender for the largest swastika.
Well, Green Llama might have something
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Green
I
Llama
think
picked
that
up
might
half
be the
world.
king, but this is definitely in the top 10 largest. Then we got this was an interesting cover, and I wondered, like, the he-she thing, is that it's just probably not good to go nowadays.
Boy Comics is pretty badass.
Can't say he-she.
Well, Ishi was actually a villain back then. There's a history behind it because at that time there was, I don't know, I researched it at one point, and that character, the Hishi, is a sign of the times. And I can't remember how, but yeah, I don't know exactly, but it's with or without that Hishi, the rest of the cover is just badass anyway.
Yeah, I like the blood on his chompers there, and the Statue of Liberty is a great depiction of that.
Yeah, it looks like the Statue of Liberty's tipping over, and that's Iron Jaw, is that his name?
Iron Jaw.
Yeah,
there's
the
a few Iron Jaw covers that are just ridiculous.
Yeah, it must be the best boy cover.
Early boy comics are cool.
Sometimes, and they can be real tough. If you start looking for one, you probably will have a tough time.
Yeah.
It comes up once in a while, but it's tough to find a nice copy, and it's not as pricey as you might think, but I bet if like a 7.0 came up, it would be expensive.
Now here's a first appearance, Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah.
Which I think done right could be terrifying.
Well, yeah, but there's the middle of a war going on. They're introducing Lewis Carroll characters. Everybody else is punching swastikas and Nazis and tanks, and they're fighting Tweedledum and Tweedledum.
Here's another burning at the stake one, which I didn't realize. And that's very burning.
Yeah, the only thing that holds these books back, I just have some cool covers, but the only thing that holds them back is they're kind of amateurish.
Yeah.
They're not as well.
She doesn't even look in pain or anything.
Yeah, all the facial expressions are the same.
Even like the Blackstone that they put out and stuff, nobody cared. Mandrake.
Yeah. There are some cool ones, but they're
Here's a funny one. This is on the website that I go to, Mike's Amazing Comics, which is amazing website. But sometimes they have their info a little bit out of date or whatever. But right now, this is saying it's a Schomburg, which I don't recall there being too many or any Pep Schomburgs. So
where is it?
Pep 38?
38. And, the Nazis absolutely look like Schomburg.
Yeah, my comic shop says it's Alex Schomburg.
Yeah. So, you might be able to get this one on the cheap.
It does.
Might be his only Pep.
When you zoom in, the guys on the bottom getting trashed definitely look like Schomburg guys.
He definitely needs to have, like, some planes in the background.
Yeah, it's not busy enough for it. There's a lot of shit going on, but not enough for Schomburg.
Yeah,
the bottom 1/4 is absolutely Schomburg.
I wonder if he get any more in that run.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna look if he did ones around it.
I didn't even know he did any.
I didn't either.
And then this guy was kind of interesting. He's very Dracula, but he's the Jap fire monster, I assume. But he's kind of cool villain.
No, from Shadow Comics? Yeah.
Yeah.
Volume 4.
Volume 3, 1.
Volume
I've never
3.
seen that one.
Number 25,
Yeah.
a.k.a. number 25.
Right. So you have to understand that there are certain volumes of Shadow that were only published very rarely did you find them. And this might be Volume 3 is one, Volume 4, I think.
Yeah, I don't get how it's
later
Volume 3, number 1, number 25.
Right.
There's another one. I think
They're
that's
very
a
pulpy.
character.
Very pulp. Shadow is the pulp. Honestly, Shadow pulps are crush Shadow.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, and there's some pulpish covers of Shadow which are like Shadow's either crap or great. I feel like this is a surprisingly one of the middle grounds.
I think that might be Devil Coyote. It looks like that's another character from Shadow Comics. It might be the same character. It's this guy. I really like this one.
Oh yeah, that's him.
And it's Devil Coyote. This is a cool cover of Shadow Comics that I was.
Oh yeah.
So, and this is he's Japanese. The Unspeakable Menace of Japan. I don't know if it's the same character.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, this Shadow Comics it's a cool issue.
Oh, Super Mystery, yeah.
Yeah,
so good.
I don't know who is this publisher.
Ace.
Okay, because I mean it has a very pep comic, whatever that publisher is, feel to it.
MLJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ace did it, and this is one of the better ones. Super Mystery are so zany. This has the little the skeletons on the side and that weird monster.
Didn't you bid on a Super Mystery 7? Was that you?
I mean, I bid on Super Mysteries all the time and never won.
Yeah, I think you were bidding against Lewis on one. You both got shut out. Yeah. Yeah,
that's likely. He likes them too.
Yeah.
I've bid on Super Mysteries before. I just have never won one. Right. You know, the paper cutter one is a Super Mystery.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
Green monster. Should have a swastika on his head. Oh, I like this. This is one of the classic Terry Toons covers. Yeah. Hitler on there. It's great. I love that. Sharks, Hitler, Mussolini, and Hero. It's awesome.
Yeah, that is cool.
And it's also got the turning of the page. I mean, it's just got so much going.
Yeah, the turning of the page with the
it's amazing.
Morphic animals in there is cool.
Terry Toons 7, huh?
I don't see this very often. But I bet it would slip through. I bet it slips through under $500 all the time.
Well, let's see if there's one on eBay.
Here's one that they say now. There's a kind of a debate whether this is Avison or Schomburg. You know, they might have worked together.
Well, you should be able to tell by looking at Cap's face if he looks like a horse.
He did a lot of work that resembles a lot of Schomburg.
I could see Schomburg inking it.
Yeah. That's a pretty built Cap to be Schomburg.
This is a super rare one.
Yes, it is.
And
all the USAs, I think, are hard to find. Then.
Yeah, I think the USAs are all tough.
I've had 2 copies of this. Both were just beat to hell. Like, they're very hard to find and nice. And it's an interesting cover because it feels almost, I don't want to say modern, but like it almost looks like something you could see in like the Bronze Age or something. Like, it doesn't have a distinctively Golden Age feel to me.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. I'd like to get one again someday. And this was a nice wow that kind of talks about, you know, how the women had to do all kinds of jobs.
Mary Marvel.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Kirby Simon war cover, 44 now. We're in 44. What was that? That was 43 here. Now we're in 44. Getting close. This is a pretty cool Air Fighters cover.
That's the Valkyrie in there.
Valkyrie.
Yep.
Not her first appearance, but
it's cool. She's in some great ones. So.
Yeah, I like these story panels on the cover. That's a tough one. You know, the Valkyrie covers.
You don't see those often.
No, they don't come up much, and they do go for a bit. They're pretty popular. They're just super.
Her second series is very, very popular. Airboy 1, the one that was done in the 80s.
Yeah. Her first appearance, where she's like full on the cover, it has a very Dave Stevens kind of feel to it.
Yeah, I think I have that Dave Stevens one here if you want to see it.
Yeah.
We got it sitting right here. Yeah, here it is right here. This one.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, he totally would love this stuff.
Yeah, here's a whole stack of Dave Stevens stuff that I sold.
I don't know if I mean, I thought she was a bad guy, but I guess she didn't like the Nazis either. I don't know.
She's kind of a dark hero, I guess. Kind of like Punisher kind of thing going on.
Gotcha. Here's a nice Schomburg.
Yep.
America's Best.
Ben is saying that USA 8 is 100% Schomburg.
Yep. That's one of his favorite books. That's for sure. And we got, I like this one because they're often when they show the three of these guys, they're like, I don't know, holding a flag or behind a desk or something. And
that's got to be an early Bazooka performance because we
this
didn't.
is cool. Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, but where's Pyroman? The Pyroman's not on this one. What's
I don't know if he. Yeah, I think he was around at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if I remember correctly, I need somebody to find out. We didn't start bringing over bazookas till the mid '40s to anything.
And look at those little ships. See, that's the kind of detail that was missing from that Pep comic.
Right.
You know, which is kind of what makes Schomburg covers so awesome. You know,
every time you look at it, you notice something new.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's a Schomburg. Yeah, I joke with people. Even his Invaders cover from the one he did his last work. I show it to people. I'm like, now tell me what you saw. Now look again. Now look again.
Yeah, he still had it in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
This is an interesting type of, I don't know, what do you call this genre? This rodent torture, DS?
I don't know. I mean, it's dark GA. I guess that's a bondage cover, but
it's a whole nother fetish kind of thing.
Yeah. Look, Gleason Publications. There's a book out there, a sort of biography of Gleason, and he was really into free speech and free expression, no holds barred, and just whatever. So some of the most outlandish stuff is on some of these Gleason publications because he was just all for free expression of whatever. Let everything fly. So you get these insane things that are just like this contraption. Like, I don't even know, man. That's probably not even a real thing. It's like, I don't know, man. That's out there. I've never seen this book for sale.
And Bureau was always the guy to bring it.
Yeah, pretty much. Although he had a female assistant who worked with him because he did a lot of work, and I think she did a lot of work under his name. So some of his cover art is actually her, and he signed it.
See, that would be a great movie.
Yeah, there's a book about Lev Gleason that covers a lot of this stuff, and I've read excerpts, but I don't own the book, so
you'll have to Instagram me that book.
Yeah, it's I can't remember the name of it. It's really good though. I mean, from what I've read, the excerpts of it.
I like this one, Captain Arrow.
Yeah, here's a nice. You don't. I feel like the shooting in the back kind of thing happens more in the 50s, but
yeah, this one's a
pretty rough.
Captain Arrow is kind of a cool thing going on with his stuff. I mean, it's obviously a rip on Airboy, but
yeah, I've never seen this one either.
And they had a good female hero. You know, Miss Victory was pretty cool. She was ripping it up for sure.
Yeah. He's having a good time.
I think she was like a nurse with a gun for sure.
This is a good spinner rack tonight. There's a lot of books I haven't seen before.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't do February at all.
I mean, I look at Golden Age books just obsessively all the time, and usually we'll do this, and there's one maybe I haven't seen, but there's been several I have never even seen before.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, like, out of the people I know, you know, we're like the people I know that know the Golden Age the most. And
I do virtually nothing but look up Golden Age books, and then I just find ones that I've never seen before. I've never even seen that one before. And it's not even obscure. I mean, it's Captain Arrow, you know?
Yeah, there's plenty of them. I mean, there's something came out in the 60s, like a binder of his books that I'm going to look for.
And it's probably in the Gerber Guide, but, you know, in the Gerber Guide, when you're looking through, and they have those small pictures, this one is not going to stand out because it's going to be a small. There's nothing about that picture. Your eye's not going to stop at it, so you would just scan right over it.
Yeah, it's easy to go over something like this. Oh, and there's a lot of detail in this one too. One of my favorites. And you know, they were saying, what were they bombing Berlin? I mean, it would be. this time a year from now, they didn't even set foot in Europe. So it was a little over anxious.
Now, is that what Alan Bellman did with the Bombs Away cover from?
He might have, yeah. I mean,
he made that poster for the war.
Yeah, it's kind of similar, There's a few that show Cap or Bucky dropping like a bomb, out of their hands, which is kind of funny. This is a great flag cover. I mean, this has so much. It's awesome. It's got that great detail. I mean, Schomburg just really went overboard. I thought this one was kind of funny. Where'd you get that bag, bub? Alex skin bag.
Yeah, some of the kitty stuff, some of the titles are better than others. I like the Frisky Fables. I like the Giggle and the Ha Ha. And there's one called Cuckoo, which is pretty good.
What publisher?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't even know. But it's Cuckoo. It's COO. That's a pretty good one. Giggle is good. Ha Ha is good. And I like Frisky Fables. They have some LB Cole stuff. That's a Star title.
Wow.
It's funny how Golden Age is so massive that, we talk about every week. We look at it probably every day. And we have no clue, what publisher. I don't know. And it's like, it's just crazy how vast it is,
ACG, he says, does there.
Yeah, I don't know if he's responding to the question about what's Cuckoo, what's the publisher. It might be ACG. I'm not sure.
Here's a great Schomburg 43. It's amazing. He somehow can throw detail in, but it has a kind of pleasing composition that kind of makes your eye do kind of circles around the cover. It's great.
Yeah, they're not all like that, though, but this one is.
That's true, yeah.
There's that one with that plane on it that you like that I just think is terribly drawn.
I love it by arguments. So
you know what I'm talking about?
The super plane?
I think so, where it's all like jacked off to the side, and it's like the whole cover's lopsided, and it's terribly drawn.
We'll have to get to the bottom of that one.
I don't know what's the plane cover. I think it's an ML.
But you like this one?
Yeah, this one's good. It's well balanced.
Right.
It's a lot of action, but it's well balanced and everything. Your eye moves around in a good, pleasurable way, and there's a lot of cool little things going on in it.
And he's about to put like a plunger on her face.
Yeah, this is a real cool one. Yeah,
Truth Gas. It says Truth Gas.
Some of his covers, honestly, though, it's not the drawing itself. It's the design of it. They're lopsided. And they're off-putting in the way they're lopsided. Or there's a lot of tangents on some of them where you have one thing ends right where another thing starts in a different part of it, and they line up so it looks wonky. Not everything he does is awesome, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm with you on that, TS. That's one of my favorite.
I
did the Schomburg show, and when you said that, I was like, I'm going to be in the minority here, but I like some of his Zella work way more than I like some of his other work.
Yeah, well, the Zella work is a lot less cluttered, and it's well all of those are very well balanced. Sometimes there's the central action figure. Sometimes there's the woman standing here and some action going over. There's a balance, and he's really good on most of them. This has a nice balance. It's a very full, active cover, but it's good. Some of them have these weird tangents, these lopsided stuff, and it's not. Some of it's off-putting to me. And some of them are big books that people pay a lot for, and so I just keep my mouth shut because who the hell? But I'll tell you guys on here.
Yeah.
Don't keep your mouth shut. Come on.
Yeah, that's the best part about the show.
Who am I to go knock somebody who knows more about Golden Age and has timely books, and I have none, and me to go knock these covers? You know what I mean? There's a couple mystics that look bad too. There's that one with I don't know if it's the Destroyer or not, but he's doing this weird kick, and it looks all jacked up. It's terrible.
I do think some of Schomburg's figures and some of his heads are like the worst drawn of Captain America ever. So he doesn't do everything right.
I'm actually, I've said this before, of all the timely artists, Schomburg is not my favorite, not even in the top 3. I put Bill Everett number 1. I always have put Bill Everett in one. I put Kirby and Simon, or just Kirby number 2, even though it wasn't around as much. And then I put George Tusk up there pretty high, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Tusk is pretty good. This one I don't like. I just think this is poorly drawn.
Oh, the kick?
Yeah, I mean, what is
Oh,
that?
yeah. I don't like that one.
Line dancing.
The Luke Skywalker kick from Return of the Jedi. He didn't even hit him.
He was just
terrible.
figuring stuff out at that point.
I'm not a fan of that one.
This right now, 43, I think, is his absolute peak. He was just on full throttle at this point. Here's
I
a
like these comics.
precursor to the bomb. You know, this was 2 years out.
Honestly, the coolest DC books during the war, or towards the end of the war, and even after the war a little bit, were to me Star Spangled.
Yeah, and some of these I think
very hard to find. Some of
they did. Kirby did while he was either right before he went overseas or during.
Yeah, Murphy Anderson started taking over for this, but you have to say, a lot of these are extremely hard to find. Star Spangled comics. They are of all the DC titles, that's the one you very rarely see a lot of.
I think this one's a cool one. You don't see a lot of them saving kids, like little babies or toddlers. And typically, toddlers are very tough to draw. A lot of people have tried and failed, professionals, and so it's not a surprise to me. But
look at his kick. That's better than the other one.
Yeah.
What do you think?
But the kid looks good. It looks like an actual kid. I like that.
No, I mean the kick. We kind of have a can thing going on between the one he had before and this one. It's the Rockettes.
Oh, here's another great one.
Yeah, there's a lot of these kiddie ones that have Hitler covers.
Some of these are referred to as Schomburg. Some aren't. I don't know if he did any of this stuff. There's surprisingly little information about Schomburg. It's really unfortunate. And he had brothers who were also artists, so I'm sure that they did a lot of work as well. Here's another cool Terry Toons. All the war Terry Toons stuff is cool. Is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's one of the classic Schomburgs.
Why don't we have a Disney comic yet?
Yeah, this one I like. He has skulls on his edges.
Look at that. I had this. Kind of wish I kept it.
Yeah.
I'll get it again. It's amazing. Mussolini's under the bed. It's got that swastika quilt. You know, Hitler's in the bed with his like shorts on. It's just amazing. And I love that eagle and the whole bed like headboard is awesome. It's a great cover.
Yeah.
I used to see it somewhat regularly, and I feel like it's kind of disappeared in people's collections in the past like 4 years or so. Here's another great one. I love Cap going crazy with his submachine gun here.
Plus, you got that like genie demon.
Yeah, and Bucky's not getting captured.
Luke Skywalker saving Leia.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's not bad. I dig that.
And he's got the
I love the USA's
foreground and background. It's great. Flags. Cap losing his mind. And look at Berlin bombs away. 1943. So yeah, already we got a couple years till D-Day.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Punch a Dino.
Blue Beetle, good character.
It's
actually one of the worst drawn ones. Of all the Blue Beetles, this is one of my least.
I was trying to think of other comics where you punch a dino in the head, and I couldn't think of any.
This is when there was like a joke of a character. He becomes really cool later on. Yes, doesn't some Blue Beetles have like a horror kind of thing to them, like some of the later ones?
I don't know. I'm not like a huge
Yeah, I mean, he's not a very popular. I think he's public domain coming soon.
I think there's some cool Blue Beetle stuff, but I don't know much about it. I don't know.
Mm.
Another one, Cap.
46, 45, 46.
45. Some of my data here is all wacky, so apologize for the dates on this. But this, I believe, is early 45. Yeah, well, February 45.
Yeah, we're coming up to 45 now.
Yeah, this is one of the hottest times.
It's a great book.
Around.
And for a while, it was not.
You're right.
Like, and I'm kind of newish into the timely thing. And I came on in, I don't know, 2010-ish maybe or so. I don't know. But I could get these for $500.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, now you're talking like a 2.0 is
Yeah.
10
It
grand.
was at 7.5 at C2E2 in 18. There was a 7.5 at Metropolis, and they were asking 15 grand, and a guy walked over and said, "I'll take that."
Yeah.
He didn't even negotiate. Didn't even negotiate.
Yeah, when you're talking World War II covers, when you have a Holocaust cover, there just aren't many. There's a couple Holocaust. I mean, across all Golden Age, there's very few Holocaust stories or covers. And among that small group, this one is the most graphic.
And when it's genre and generation overlapping, like generations, like new people who are like, 20 years old like it, and people who are 80 years old like it, or people who collect only horror like it, or whatever, like that's when you know a book has got legs. Because
Well, look, there's not a lot of timelies that are on my list. And most of them are the non-war ones, like Marvel Mystery 28 and 29. Those are not like war covers. Daring 1 is a timely. That's not a war cover. Even Daring 2. Some of the Mystics are not real war covers, but this one is strictly a war cover, but it's got such a dark, striking theme to it with this Holocaust scene and the guy going into the oven and the bones underneath.
He's got tags on him.
Man, it gives you a shiver to think that this is realistic. This was what was happening. It's such a stark reminder of that time. This book, I would definitely own this book, but I can't compete with the prices for this book. I mean, this is a Cadillac title. It's a Golden Age Cap cover. I can't compete for that.
And at this point, it's been tough to do research on some of this stuff. I've been trying to figure out, like, when did the American public, become aware of this stuff? Like, literally, like they're burning people in oven. You know what I mean? Like, they're gassing people. And it's, I feel like it was around this time, or not too, it was pretty late. Like, there were people absolutely who were saying, like, look, this stuff is going on, but it wasn't kind of like proven. Or
there were some videos that were confiscated from Germany after we got into Germany at the end of World War II, and they confiscated some video.
Yeah.
And some of that, he had cameras up against the portholes in the doors looking in on these execution chambers and filming what would happen to them. They had films of what they would do to different people, how they would round up people, how they would execute people. And those films, you can't even find them to watch. They're so grotesque and just disturbing that even today, you can't find them to watch. It's almost been censored by consensus where everybody agrees that nobody should ever watch these.
Well, I mean, I thought it was horrifying before, but now that I have a child, like, there were some where they showed like a mountain of kids' shoes.
Yeah,
because they would strip anything of value off of these people before they killed them, and it was like piles of.
And after.
It's just.
Yeah, I mean, after they would gas them, they would send the next group of victims in to strip down the last group of victims. And make piles of eyeglasses and piles of shoes. And, people don't realize places like Auschwitz, these are not just, small camps. These are massive campuses with multiple
cities.
Areas there that they're like small cities. They constructed these small cities that were accessible by railway so they could get the most people in and out. And they're like legit cities. If you ever see, you can look at like aerial images of some of these. Like Auschwitz was actually like Auschwitz and Birkenau was like one thing, and it was literally the size of the city.
And Bergen-Belsen was right next to it.
Yeah.
I think it was a Collier's magazine in 1943, an escaped soldier from a concentration camp. I don't know if it was an American or a French one. A reporter asked him what he saw.
Yeah.
And that was done in the US, and there was shock of it. And by 1945, it was well known what they were doing, because that's what D-Day, we're going to stop this right now.
Well, it wasn't until March or April that U.S. soldiers came into these camps.
Right.
And there were some Russians who found them. There were Russians who found them, I believe, January, February of 45. But, we weren't
in them.
We weren't believing that, or we weren't getting photos from that. But like once Americans got there in April, and to me, when you think of like getting a Golden Age book that ties in with the war and all that history, like there's two things. There's like one, like let's take it to Hitler, and that's like cap one, like let's get this guy, it's before we even entered the war. It's like he's bad and we know it. And then there's like, this is why we fight.
Yep. There was
he's actually doing this crap.
There's a famous when I was called Sobibor, was a Russian soldiers were there, and it was a death camp. And they're the ones who kind of exposed it to the US soldiers when they were there. Now there was no Americans there because it was prior to the Americans. We're still only maybe into Sicily at that point, and we haven't invaded the mainland of Europe yet. But the Russians were coming in from the Eastern Front, and they were getting captured from Stalingrad, from the edges of Stalingrad when that battle was going on. All the way down when a Sobibor happened, when they escaped, they were telling reporters what was going on.
Yeah.
And the U.S. reporters were reporting it. And we knew, like, all of a sudden they started flying overhead, not just bombing, but taking photos and stuff and saying, what are these? And then, people with going over them, seeing what it was.
But it wasn't until the troops just started running into these camps, and at that point, most of the Germans were retreating and taking it, and they would burn everyone,
changing uniforms,
or march them because they were afraid. They knew they were going to lose. They were afraid what they'd find. They were trying to hide it, and there's a great depiction. It's a little bit got the facts wrong in some ways, but the Band of Brothers, I think there was a episode towards the end called Why We Fight, and that was a really cool description of probably what it was like for these Americans to stumble into these camps.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's another silly depiction of Hitler. Playing here. Oh, and that's it.
Oh, what a great run. And that's just the first half. We got
up to 1945. So next week we'll do
the Atomic
War is Over. We'll see how comic comics responded to that. Very different.
Well, it's been great. This is a great show. I want to thank you guys again. Thank you, DS and Knights, for always being here. With it's great when I love having our Sophia's here, but it's always good to have our guys here.
The core.
You know, we'll have a few Sophia's next week, I think, for sure. But I'm very happy to be here. Does anybody want to plug anything?
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I don't have anything
to plug.
No. I have check out Bill. It's called Comic Art Fans, the CAF YouTube page. He's doing dueling art dealers tomorrow, but I'll be on a special show.
Can you put that in the?
Yeah, I'm going to put that in the description for next February 11th, next Thursday, I think it is. I will be, a week from tomorrow, so next Wednesday, I will be featured on that show with
cool.
A dozen or so art pieces I'm going to go over, including a piece I've never shown. So it'll be fun. Yeah, good stuff. But if you don't know, Bill Cox is one of our favorite guys. Once again, I want to thank everybody. Thanks everybody for joining us and you guys sticking around. C. Holmes, once again, thank you very much for everything. Tech 31 and everybody. Been a real good show. Just once again, thank you all for being a friend.
All right, see you guys.
See you guys.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you